saying my name, Michigan. That's what it did last time. Yeah.
It's a connection issue. Oh, it is. You said out.
What did I do wrong?
Application. Based on the information you provided, it appears you're already in the system.
Huh?
Just check your email for a verification. You have 20 tabs open.
How do you fill out applications all day?
It's okay.
Do the Indeed though.
So,
but,
is it okay if I open your email?
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
That verification
Be
code. I do IT work too, so I can get it. Here's the verification code. So 50120.
I got to clean it out.
Okay. 0. Oh. Check that. Check that. What's up? All right, and then just these skill categories and skills. I just want you to put in a few of those things there. All right, let's do this.
It is an amazing Tuesday, and we're waiting for the tubes to connect themselves
You could put it in
as the streams fire up.
If you want to
making our way
put
through
in
the
one
week,
and then move on.
and we've got some business to attend to today. It looks like the tubes are working.
We know you.
Tremendous news. Hello, my friends. I hope your week is going very, very well. We've got a little bit of Biden updates, of course, talking about some of the fallout from the attack on our troops yesterday. And there was some reaction to that from Blinken and around the White House. John Kirby was out yesterday. We got a real busy day today in C-SPAN world. We've got the House Republicans came out with a briefing this morning. I think the House Democrats are coming out with a briefing in just a few minutes. And so we'll poke around and see what the heck is going on out there. But let's take a look and see what's happening on, wait a minute, is Locals working? Hopefully it is. Yeah, there it goes. All right, Locals is working. We'll take a look at what's happening in Bidenville. This is the presidential schedule on the Tuesday. The president departs the White House. He goes to Joint Base Andrews, and he's going to Florida. Oh, he's going to Palm Beach. What's he doing down there? Oh, a campaign reception. Wonder what that's going to be about. And then today we'll get Gaggle from Olivia Dalton. She is the non-Karine. John Kirby's also going to give an update on Air Force One. It's interesting, he's doing a lot of campaigning right now as we're on the brink of war, but we'll see if he talks about that or if he gives some reaction anywhere about this. Yesterday, we did have a briefing from Karine and from John Kirby, so we'll get updates from them. Not much from Joe. He was not too communicative yesterday, and he is not in general. But we'll get some updates on this. They're saying Biden is basically facing a treacherous political choice. Whew. So it's going to be either this or that, and this could be, a tipping point for his administration. We've got reaction to the troops that were killed yesterday. May they rest in peace. This is what Blinken said in the aftermath. He was meeting with the UN guy, Jen Stoltenberger, this guy here. And here's what he said about this when they were hanging out.
Note the drone attack yesterday by Iranian-backed militia on U.S. forces in Jordan.
See me trying to call in Marvin.
It killed 3 of our soldiers.
I'll be waiting for the representative
Wounded many
to come in
others.
at the end and be like, hey,
First and foremost, I'm thinking of those who lost their lives, those who were wounded, their family members, and their friends. Every day, we have our men and women in uniform around the world who are putting their lives on the line for our security, for our freedom. I am, as always, humbled by their courage and their sacrifice.
All right, so We're learning more about this attack. Washington Post had an update on this, and they say that the U.S. mixed up enemy and friendly drones. So they thought that this was a friendly drone coming in. Turns out it wasn't. Here's the background. American air defenses failed to intercept an attack drone, killed 3 U.S. troops, wounded dozens of others. They mistook it for a friendly drone that was returning the base. The dead were identified Sergeant Rivers, Special Sanders, and Brianna Moffett. So 46, 24, and 23, may they all rest in peace. They were members of an Army Reserve unit from Fort Moore in Georgia. The weaponized drone struck their living quarters. It was a facility known as Tower 22, where its border converges with Syria and Iraq. And we looked at the map on that yesterday. Wow, we've got troops right there. That's weird. We have troops all over the place, man. So this is the base, is apparently what it looks like. A satellite picture shows Tower 22. This is the facility in Jordan that was attacked on Sunday. Apparently they were living in these containerized housing facilities. The Pentagon has revised the number from 34 to more than 40 of injured. Some spoke on condition of anonymity. They said 47 troops. That's a lot, man.
From 34 to more than 40.
Sunday's attack marked significant escalation by the Iranian-backed militants. The Biden administration has been blamed for nearly daily assaults, on deployed U.S. forces. But as of Monday, neither the Pentagon nor the White House had conclusively determined from which country the attack originated. Efforts to identify the specific group responsible.
All right, I can be able to pull you up and we'll go from there.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that wild? It's like, why did Senators John Cornyn and Lindsey Graham, why did they say bomb Iran yesterday when we don't even know who it is? Exactly.
Pull you up and we'll go from there.
And Blinken says it's Iranian-backed militias. Okay.
All right,
how do you know that? Like,
so
which specific
should be back to your original homepage there.
Like, maybe it's likely, maybe it's probably.
You probably have to open your email.
Do you know that? And they're willing to just start bombing Iran just at the push of a button. It's crazy.
And there you are.
Now, Biden has vowed to retaliate, but again, we don't know. Neither the Pentagon nor the White House conclusively determined who it was. So who are they going to attack?
Yeah.
There have been at least 165 attacks on troops in Iraq
Oh, no,
and Syria.
I bet you it pulled it in from Indeed.
I'd like to know how that is in context with the other attacks on troops when we had a different administration in charge. Now, according to Pentagon data, details about the drone mix-up were first reported by Wall Street Journal. The administration has conducted retaliatory airstrikes in the past, hoping to ward off further attacks. But the militant groups perpetuating the violence appeared undeterred. Yeah. Now, the U.S. officials have recorded one additional drone strike since the incident in Jordan, and among those wounded, 3 personnel were transported to a medical center for more advanced care. So they might have brain damage. So I hope they recover very quickly. It's just terrible.
And stuff.
Yeah.
So you should get that email any second.
So they say they don't know. We don't know. Maybe Lindsey Graham knows. Lindsey Graham knows everything. He's so smart. So, okay, that was what Blinken said about this. Now, they're talking about this being something very precarious. This was an interesting clip from Blinken. He got asked about this. He says, yeah, these are some of the most hostile times that we've seen in recent memory.
Look, first, I think it's very important to note that this is an incredibly volatile time in the Middle East.
Nice job. Good job.
I would argue
whatever you want. Yeah, it has to have an uppercase, a lowercase, a number,
situation
and a symbol, like
as dangerous as the one we're facing now across the region.
Who caused
since
that?
At least 1973, and arguably even before that. And that is the
chaos
environment in which we're operating. And of course, that was triggered by the horrific attacks of October 7th by Hamas against innocent men, women, and children. We've made very, very clear from day one that we're going to defend our people, we're going to defend our personnel, we're going to defend our interests. And that's exactly what we've done. We've taken action, significant action, to deter groups, to degrade their capabilities in Iraq, in Syria, in Yemen.
These people Remember they gave Iran pallets of cash, like billions of dollars, pallets. Then they left $80 billion over from their failed war in Afghanistan. Then they took the Houthis off the terror watch list, which a bonehead decision like Donald Trump did not do. So then they just blame all of this, wow. Then the region, under a total lack of any leadership and control, goes from stable to unstable in like a matter of years, like overnight. And then
This one's commonly used. Oh my goodness.
It'll still let you use it though.
It went.
Okay.
Gave me a sad face. Said it was weak.
It's ended, and all our deals were finalized and guaranteed to sign the ceasefire letter. It's not like she willingly worked with and befriended Gal Gadot or anything. These people just don't like Jews. A lot of these people who are commenting, they just sound racist. You know, I'm not saying there aren't reasons to dislike what the Israeli government does or whatever, but these people that are commenting online seem very angry. They seem very, very angry. And, you know, I'm no historian, but I can tell you this much. I'm pretty sure Gal Gadot didn't do anything.
Oh my goodness.
But that's what's great.
You need help, I'll help you.
Rachel Zegler panders to the woke
'cause
left.
I picked like 4
And
passwords and
they
keep
don't
on telling
care
me they're
because
weak or-
now she's made a movie with Gal
I'll
Gadot,
write it down.
who's
what it is.
supposedly jealous of her looks. And
What's
they're
cool
mad
about
at
these
her
phones
anyway.
is if you click where it says suggest strong password,
There's just no
it
winning.
will save whatever you use, and then you can change it.
I just love this.
So just do suggest strong password, and then see how that's all those
it's
weird.
going to be, you know, it's going to be
stuff
fun.
like that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't even have to
Snow
write
White.
that down. Watch.
I'll say
Use
Snow White
password,
press
and
tour.
boom, boom. It filled in
going
both
to
of those
be
things for
lit.
you. And you click save and log in.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So-
pretty interesting.
So but in order
gonna
to
be
get
pretty
back
interesting.
On it, though, would it
I wonder if
be
she'll
saved?
walk
Password
into that. I
saved.
suspect.
Okay.
So when you go there
Let
and
me
you
know what
start
you think
typing
in the
your
comments.
email address for the username,
Uh-huh.
once it's done, it'll say like here.
It's going to be an interesting problem.
So go ahead and type in your email.
That I can do.
A lot of times, if you just start typing it, it'll give you the rest of it on the bottom.
You're right, yeah.
So,
They both suck. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Bigly.
Login with Google,
I agree with that bigly.
or log in with the other one.
no. Okay, then you tap password.
Let's get right into this next topic.
Oh,
Can you log in?
I don't think it would shock anybody if I said that there was some bizarre propaganda, propaganda materials laying around at Disney theme parks. In particular, I mean, we already know how they, we already know how they try to indoctrinate their viewers. But interestingly enough, now they're doing it to their employees. And after an investigation by the Daily Wire, apparently they've scrambled around to hide everything. If you haven't yet left on a like on this video, please do consider doing so. It helps new people find the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Exclusive, Disneyland posts woke wheel of privilege in employee kitchen and removes it after Daily Wire inquiry. Things like this make people feel unwelcome, destroying the magic, employee tells Daily Wire.
Now you're gonna zip through this.
Posters featuring a, quote, wheel of power and privilege were hung in employee spaces at Disneyland,
So
instructing employees that being white, cisgender, and male, and even speaking English
okay, so
means
now
you have
I haven't sent it because I wanted to make
privilege,
sure you
that your, quote,
logged in, so
marginalized
we'll send you
workers
the
do
tasks.
not, according to images obtained
send packets.
by the Daily Wire. The wheel featured for all employees to see has the word power in the middle and is sectioned like a dartboard, with certain traits fanning outwards that are labeled marginalized. For example, being
I'm
white,
testing the
a cisgender male,
studio
owning
again.
property, and speaking English are all considered privileged, while being dark-skinned, trans, homeless, and not speaking English are considered being marginalized. Well, okay, I might agree with you on the homeless thing. In between the inner and outer circle, which would be considered the not completely marginalized but not totally privileged either, are cisgender women,
pull this down.
gay men,
Even
people with high school educations, and people who learn English. Imagine you're in the kitchen, some kid, you just had to put sawdust on a pile of puke that some rich kid just, yacked in the hallway. You're just trying to eat your Hot Pocket on your lunch break, and you have to get told you're privileged.
No. If you don't have that direct,
I'll tell you what
direct
unearned
positive info with
privilege
you right
is.
now, you can skip that. For
All
now.
these criminals that seem to commit crimes at will in big cities and never do a minute in jail, or just get sent right back out. That seems like a
drug screen.
privilege.
Yeah, I'll let you go. That keeps going to sleep on me.
I'm pretty sure that certain demographics of people are not benefiting from that.
Yeah, Midwest.
Included with this wheel is a definition of privilege, stating that it is unearned access or advantage granted to specific groups of people because of their memberships in a social group. Being white is being a member of a social group.
No. I think it just crashed. I think
Privilege can be based off a variety of different social identities, such as race, gender, religion, socioeconomic status, ability status, sexuality, age, education level, and more. Within the U.S., members of social groups that hold privilege, white, male, wealthy, able-bodied, etc., have historically
No, it's
held
not
dominance
really
and power over targeted groups. What? I don't even understand what this is. The poster also asks, why should we accept that we have privileges? Meaning, why should I feel bad for how I was born? It provides the answer. By accepting that we have privileges, we can see that not everyone sees the world from our perspective, and that we have privilege in our life that have hindered our awareness of the world. Here's an actual picture that looks like it was, sent to the Daily Wire. People forget, there are definitely conservative people that work for Disney, and there are definitely just regular people. Not everybody fits so neatly into a box where, you believe one thing, with black and white. I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm liberal, I'm conservative. Most people probably don't find themselves in that clear.
We don't. It's not even required anymore. You just have to
that
give us
clean of
authorization that you're willing to do one.
a cut.
That way
That doesn't normally
you
happen.
would do one if you got hurt or if you.
And these are the people that see this crap, and they're like, "Dude, I'm just trying to eat my
cannabis
lunch.
the same as alcohol.
I got freaking ramen noodles
Yeah,
here.
I smoke cigarettes.
And you're
that's
telling me
it.
I'm privileged?"
But either way, don't sweat it.
The image was provided
I just
by a
didn't know
source
if he
who
did it
works
at the
for the
office
Walt
here.
Disney
I'm
Company
gonna
who wished to
Yeah, we would
remain
normally
anonymous
if I have
for fear
to,
of
if I have to
retribution
do
from the
it,
company.
unless you're hurt, then we
The
do it.
employee
They
said
do
that the
it at
materials were
occupation health.
posted in the production kitchen
like I
on Main
said,
Street, USA, in Disneyland, Anaheim, California. The production kitchen services Carnation Cafe, the Tropical Hideaway, Jolly Holiday Bakery, a cafe, and the Refreshment Corner, all sponsored by
When
Coca-Cola.
I got there, they said they couldn't do it that day.
Employee said
You only have
divisive
a
materials
24-hour
like this are
period of
destroying the
time.
magic of the park.
Walking.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would
Like,
think
oh, you
they're
tried to
destroying the
avoid
magic
the-
of
Yeah.
everything.
There you go.
Don't you think?
Continue.
I mean, the thing is, this stuff like this has been out, been going on for years.
Like, I'll go, I got this.
And
Click in the little
only
blue
now that
boxes
people
and
seem to
whatever
be
else.
noticing it and pointing it out, only
Don't
now
go to the other
are
table.
people like,
whatever you
oh,
want. When we get to the paperwork,
Wait a
I mean,
minute,
it'll be
that's
easier
not
for
right.
you, But there, I think sitting right here is probably better.
the
if we
employee
run
said
into
divisive
issues.
materials like this are destroying the magic. So many cast members, myself included, are tired of the division being pushed by these companies with a lack of regard for our founder's vision.
So
The source told the
using
Daily Wire,
Bubble Studio
"This
today,
isn't what
guys.
Walt would have wanted for his company," he once said. "To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Things like this make people feel unwelcome, destroying the magic." Yeah, I'd agree with that. The Daily Wire then reached out to Walt Disney Company to ask about the poster and why they were posted. And within hours of reaching out, our source said a manager removed the poster and sent a photo of the now empty display cabinet, which still features another poster about the Lunar New Year in 2024 being the year of the dragon. Disney did not ultimately respond to the request for comment. Oh, well, they responded. They absolutely responded. This is the actions of
Results negative or positive.
somebody who feels
just like
guilty,
that.
right? This is the actions of somebody that knew they did something wrong. It sure seems that way, doesn't it? If you felt like, oh yeah, this is the right thing to do, I believe strongly in this. Why would you race in there within hours I don't know where this email was sent, right? But it almost certainly wasn't. It was probably some sort of general inquiries inbox, right? It probably wasn't sent directly to the manager. So think about that. This random email goes into a press inquiries inbox somewhere in the world. Somewhere in the world. Within a few hours, the command comes down to remove it. And why would you remove it? Aren't you proud of it? Aren't you doing the right thing? Didn't you, where was all the conviction? Think about all the time it took to make this, by the way. I can't tell if this is printed or extremely good handwriting. It looks like it's pretty good handwriting, but this was a very big project that somebody probably spent an entire day or more on. And they raced in there and ripped it down unceremoniously. I mean, I thought you were proud of it. What a bizarre way to react. Disney has come under fire in recent years for its turn toward wokeness with numerous box office blunders. Her films seem to be pushing leftist ideological political agendas. Top-ranking employees at Disney have also admitted to pushing a, quote, not at all secret gay agenda.
It's okay.
The Daily Wire previously reported in 2023 the company lost nearly $1 billion on movies like
Oh, wait, don't
Elemental,
worry about that. Just
The Little
sign it.
Mermaid.
You already did.
Company
see,
CEO Bob
under here where it
Iger
says sign,
admitted
you
last
sign
year
it
Disney
there,
lost
then
sight
you
of
type it in
entertainment
this
as
little
this
box here.
and put out
Oh,
more
is
political
that what I did
messaging
wrong?
influenced content. Creators lost sight of what their number one objective needs
just
to be,
sign
Iger
it.
said
You're
at
it.
the deal
Well, you
booth
got to
summit
enter,
in
do
November.
both. You
You
sign
have to
it
entertain first. It's
first.
not
Go
about
ahead and enter it
the
first.
message.
And then sign it up.
And then
Well,
just
I
use
think
your
there are a
finger
lot
to-
of people at Disney that
versus
believe it
sign
is
here.
about the message.
I mean, it doesn't even need to be legible.
I think it's
some
It
squiggles,
definitely
some
is.
I mean,
squiggles up
just
there.
think about that.
It definitely isn't.
They
Mine
got
wasn't either.
somebody went in there and had all this was a lot of work. They had different backgrounds. They had print out all this like extra long paper. I don't know what kind of if these are sheets of paper that they connected, or if they had to use some sort of banner printer or something like that. I mean, they spent a lot of time
Why wouldn't you do it?
putting this together. And they ripped it down within like minutes.
Alright,
It doesn't exactly seem like the actions of somebody who feels strong
Oh,
about
once
what
you
they
rotate it.
what they were doing here. I mean, that's just my opinion. Now, I suppose people would just like to eat their dinner, would just like to go about their way, eating their lunch on lunch break and not have to have propaganda crammed down their throat. And that's probably what this was. Pure propaganda. I mean, you have wealth, housing, body size,
Yeah,
mental
'cause it hasn't
health. I
actually
mean,
taken-
body size is
didn't
something that
actually take
most
the
people have
signature.
some level of control over.
Sign.
Formal education, skin color, citizenship, I mean, like, whoever put this together, their job is not required. Their job is not an important job. And they just proved it by the fact that they did all that work and then ran in there and deleted it immediately. We're winning, folks. This is what winning looks like. You just got to keep calling it out. Just got to keep calling it out.
Continue to complete task. Yes. All right.
That's ultimately what it is, How's all your weeks going?
So, I'm supposed to be getting some touchpads pretty soon, so we won't even have to deal with this stuff anymore. With all this electronic signatures and stuff like that, those things are dinosaurs. You're actually, even as slow as this is, those
What did you
computers are
guys
slow.
plan this week? Almost all of the snow is melted here in Wisconsin now. I mean, there is snow, but a lot of it is melted
All the newer
now.
phones and iPhones and that, they have those pins and all that.
Definitely a lot of it.
Sideways, sign it, and then when you're done
Slow
signing
news day.
it,
Yeah, it is kind of a slow news day
and then you
today.
tilt it back.
By the way,
and
your
it'll
next
have you
shipment will
do
be
the
sent
other
today.
portion.
That's great to hear. Your PC shipped today. Nice.
Anna.
Catching a cold. Yeah, there's this cold thing going around. That's for sure. Basically, everyone I know is has it or is getting it in some various stage of it. There's some
Finish on
various
top.
stage of sick.
Jacob.
Severe wisdom tooth pain. Oof. Yeah, get that checked out. Hey, so you know how I was doing that big Facebook push? Well, apparently, Facebook told me that there was some sort of glitch with my page, that I couldn't run ads on it anymore or something like that. A glitch. So I had to create a new one. So if you use Facebook, could you leave a like and follow this page? It's facebook.com/thequarteringnews. I had 17,000 followers. I'm down to 1.2 thousand now. I had to start all the way over. So if you're able to, can you go to facebook.com/thequarteringnews and give it a like and a follow if you use Facebook, of course. Yeah, I don't think it was like I don't think it was I don't think I got zucked
Continue on the
because
bottom and then
I didn't have
scroll
any policy violations on the page. So I don't know. Technically. Doobie-doobie-doo. Yeah, today is kind of a light news day, isn't it? Thank you. The link is in the chat. I wonder if I can pin it. Can I pin it? No, I can't do anything to my own message. How's the mailbox? Holding up strong. Mailbox has been replaced. Being straight and white is a policy. Yeah, that's true. Doobie-doobie-doo. We got news still today, though. We've got news. News. Coke. It looks like Mark Cuban is having a very, very bad week. Yesterday, in a Twitter AMA or X AMA, he accidentally admitted to a crime of discrimination. And a chancellor for the EEOC actually called him out. Today, more videos of his CEO are coming out, and it doesn't look good. Not one bit. And I know you'll probably feel really bad for Mark Cuban, so you probably, want to leave a like on this video to tell him it's going to be okay. Tell him that his friends will still, that his check from China is still going to clear. And everything's going to be okay for Mark Cubano.
So it says
that's not his real last name, but that's neither here nor there. Dead wrong. Mark Cuban gets corrected by Biden official while defending race-based hiring.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Billionaire Mark Cuban was corrected about the consideration of race and gender in hiring by a commissioner of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, on Monday. Cuban stated in a Sunday tweet that he, quote, never hired based exclusively on race, gender, or religion, but that race, gender can be a part of the equation. Andrea Lucas, commissioner of the EEOC, responded that any employment decisions based on
So that
race
would
or
make
sex
most
would
people think you would
violate
put
the
0,
Civil
1,
Rights Acts of
but it doesn't want that. It wants
1964.
just one.
Oops.
So a lot of people get stuck on that part.
Yeah, I think I've done
Oops.
that before too.
Yeah, it's just one of the quirks I've noticed about this form.
He literally admits to a civil rights violation. Here you see Andrea Lucas, commissioner of the EEOC, writing Mark Cuban, EEOC commissioner here.
For the state one, how many do you want to claim?
Unfortunately, you're dead wrong on the black letter Title 7 law. As a general rule, race/gender cannot be even a motivating factor, nor a plus factor, tiebreaker, or tipping point.
Tap to sign.
It's important employers understand the ground rules here. A real life community note, epic. Hey, Mark Cuban, it seems like you're in violation of federal law. What now? Well, isn't that interesting? The rabbit hole's in there. Suddenly, Mark Cuban didn't have much to say. Like, he literally admitted a civil rights violation.
A little bit more.
All I see out of him today is troops are good. Look at the soldiers. You see here, the video is a discussion between two EEOC commissioners. The initial quotes are from this person, that person. It's a very interesting conversation that was hosted by the Federalist Society. The conclusion is that smart people can disagree on the issues. What? So he quote tweets the EEOC commissioner and says, quote, race conscious but neutrally executed. There is a significant difference between goals and quotas. Diversity is good for business. DEI initiatives should be encouraged. These are all quotes. This is a conversation you had with Jocelyn. But your position is that people are inherently evil. Do you truly believe that? And do you think that's how conservatives think? So instead of admitting he was wrong, he's arguing with the EEOC in defense of his racist hiring tactics. You see the rabbit holes here. I don't think arguing with the EEOC in defense of your race, sex factors in hiring is a good idea, but you do you. Shibatoshi Nakamoto, super weird reply. Watch the video, it's self-explanatory. Stop being racist, Merrick. Just admit it and take the L. Essentially, he's saying, oh, but there's another EEOC commissioner, and they think that, maybe we should have something different. So he puts this video that's an hour-long conversation that has not been viewed by more than 3,000 people. 5 hours ago. Ha ha ha. Funny discussion on DEI led by 4 middle-aged white women. Anyone else find that funny? Well, that's the only people that's who pushes DEI. So he ends up getting himself in a real pickle here now. Republican attorney generals sent letters in July 2023 to dozens of employers warning against violating the law by using racial preferences and quotas in their hiring practices. Several conservative legal organizations also filed lawsuits regarding corporate diversity policies following the Supreme Court's ruling against race-based college admission back in June. This was a major issue if we go back and you look at the conversations that were had over the Harvard admissions and things of that nature, where they were basically de-boosting white men and Asians and artificially boosting black females. This is illegal.
I thought that's what it was about.
The Supreme Court ruled it was illegal, and the colleges said they were going to continue to do it anyway. That's what Mark Cuban's saying here. I think it's a pretty bad day for Mark Cuban. Of course, on top of getting epically trolled. By the way, you see Mark Cuban just casually admitted to breaking the law in a hiring practice. By the way, here is Mark Cuban's CEO for the Dallas Mavericks. CEO of the Dallas Mavericks, who Mark Cuban hired, boasts about being the most diverse in the NBA and switching up roles to have more women and black people in leadership positions. you have to have a diverse group. I made some leadership changes, fired white people,
So it's gonna go
and
on.
now we have
Scroll
almost
down,
50%
scroll
women
down.
and 47%
So this is the
POC.
I-9,
Diversity
and then
matters.
all you have left.
Because I know the business case for diversity, and you
That's
have
it.
to have a
You
diverse
just-
group of
if you
people
just
around the
click this,
table.
it's going to take you to the
If you
spot
really
you need
want-
to be.
Why?
Have to sign.
You ever notice how many people say you have to have diversity? You have to have
Well,
diversity.
they do this
to be
every day.
successful,
I mean-
and then that's all they ever say.
You did this a couple days in a row, you'd have it down.
That's all they ever say. Like, you have to have diversity. Okay, all right. I'm willing to hear you out. I'm willing to hear you out on diversity. Can you tell me why?
So
Mark
give me a
Cuban
red
says, well, diversity is a competitive advantage. Why?
Let me see.
Mark Cuban's black
Sorry.
female CEO says
Finish.
diversity is an advantage. Why?
Have to sign.
Want to be as successful as you can be. And so we took that on. So we laid out that vision,
Looks like
laid out a set of values, and then I had one-on-one with all the employees, and then made some leadership changes.
Fired white people. That's what that means.
Person electronics.
Demoted white people, fired white people, and put non-white
I mean,
people
my-
in those positions.
besides
That is
this
the
job,
only way
my other
that you increase the diversity numbers, right?
my other job is
Added a bunch of
IT,
leadership
so
roles and
it's-
put people in them.
Oh, so you stay
So that'd
on
be
this
another
one.
way.
Don't that hurt
I have to.
your
I
eyes?
have to.
So now we have almost 50% women in leadership and 47% people of color.
Anybody who says people of color too, you gotta be very suspect of.
Let me see.
Federal.
Say yes.
Very suspect.
Yes.
What do you mean people of color? Just say non-white, because we know that's what you mean. People of color. Just say non-white. Now, non-white people do not make up 50% of the population. So why do you think they need to represent 50% of the managerial team? What is the correct percentage? And, Mark Cuban said it isn't about quotas. Well, why is the CEO of his company talking about quotas? Is it going to be some sort of mealy-mouthed explanation where it's like,
So I'm the
well,
same-
we were just saying what percentage of people we had.
Oh,
That's not a
right.
quota.
Let me
It
see. Is that the
sounds like a
federal one?
quota. Well, we don't have an exact quota. Okay, well, why are you telling me, why are you
Yeah,
saying
you're gonna do- I think
50%?
normally it's automatically going to do you.
Being
Yeah,
non-white
with
is a
the
good
federal
thing.
one now. It automatically does.
You made changes in leadership to
anything
increase the number of
additional
women
would be
and
like other-
non-white people.
So
What is the goal? What is the exact number of people? That means you've done enough. There is obviously a quota. There is obviously a mandate to get these chalk demons out of, these mayonnaised people out of leadership roles.
And so
Wow.
diversity matters. It matters.
Why? Everyone keeps saying it matters. Tell me why. Tell me why it matters.
So your goal was to set the NBA standard
White guy.
for leadership, for
Self-hating white guy.
diversity and inclusion. And are you now the most diverse and inclusive leadership team for an NBA organization?
I know we're somewhere at the top.
Oh, she doesn't know? I bet you she does know. I bet you she knows exactly where they are. I bet you she knows and Mark Cuban knows exactly where they rank against other NBA teams because the NBA probably reports it to them.
We actually ended up getting the NBA's Diversity and Inclusion Award in January. For
Wow. You fired a bunch of white people and you replaced them with other people just based on their skin color. So stunning and brave. And of course, to end up Mark Cuban's no good, very bad day, he led with let's do an AMA, fire away. Greg from Twitter, he's like a Twitter troll personality. What are your thoughts on what D wrote about you last night? Mark Cuban, I don't know who that is, Greg, but I'm proud of you for bringing it up. Of course, Greg hits him with it's D's nuts. That tweet currently has 15,000 likes, and Mark Cuban simply replies, fail. I suppose no better word comes to mind than fail. It's weird. People keep saying diversity matters, and they say that that's like a fact that all of us are aware of the statistical reasons for it. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know these statistics. Do you? I'm unaware of them. Greg is famous now. Greg is already that account is very popular on Twitter. They have many, many, many followers. I wanted to get to... All right. I wanted to give an update on this commies versus piano player. By the way, thanks everyone for helping me restart my quartering news Facebook page. If you haven't yet, if you didn't hear, I had to restart my quartering Facebook page. It's now called facebook.com/thequarteringnews. If you're watching and you use Facebook, please give it a like and a follow while we're streaming today, or if you're watching it later. Links in the chat too. Trying to build back to my 17,000 people I lost. So that would be really awesome. Commies versus piano player. I covered this perhaps a week ago, and things have only gotten worse. So it started out where a piano player that is very popular on YouTube and getting more popular now due to his fighting for free speech, Brendan Kavanaugh, who has nearly 2.5 million subscribers and got them mostly by, being awesome at piano, was just playing piano and in a public place, and the police end up getting called during a live stream. And some individuals from China were demanding he stop filming them. They made various threats, and the video blew up. It got nearly 10 million views across YouTube. And Brendan...
It's only task
was
left.
Very cool, calm, and collected during the interaction.
Close that.
He was wondering exactly why they wanted him to delete the footage.
Done with the phone.
And things have escalated to a level now that I'm not sure anyone could have foreseen. Now, if you know Communist China, then you know that, this is something, that he's doing very well. He's definitely roasted Xi Jinping, Winnie the Pooh, and that has... So, he's just... Now I'm starting to get a little worried for him because he went back to the location and played piano with pictures of Winnie the Pooh. So if I won't replay this whole thing because everyone's seen it. Essentially, some Chinese people come and they have the little communist China flags there, and they tell them to delete the footage. So they got some person here who looks like a caricature geisha or whatever.
It's not disposable. Keep this. You can use that for this shop. So we'll get in trouble.
They'll put you in prison, mate.
So she tries to get them to delete the footage, and this girl seems like mildly kind. And then
Why you're touching her? Stop touching her! Don't touch her, please. Do not touch her.
Some psycho guy who's apparently their handler or whatever gets in the middle, right? Commies get BTFO'd by Brendan because he says go pound sand, right? Well, since then, all sorts of things have been happening. So the woman in the video actually responded. And she's trying to say that
How long do you
there's
think
some
you're gonna
sort
be
of
there?
contract that they had with their own government that somehow Brendan had to follow.
最近关于钢琴家发的一些舆论，
I'm not going to play this, but it says, so there's been a recent outcry from a YouTuber pianist. That always makes it funny to say. She wants to tell you from her standpoint. Let's see if I can speed this up. That her and her friends were filming a Chinese New Year greetings for a company for free. So I can't read this, but it says, we plan to film a song next to a piano. Oh, we waited for 40 minutes for the piano. The YouTuber kept using public piano for commercial purposes. Oh, he was using a public piano to entertain people. Wait a minute. They wanted to use the public piano for commercial purposes.
Richard doesn't flip out.
You know, huge oopsie doopsie there, Xi Jinping. How those Uyghur Muslims going over there? So it says, because of the content we filmed that was confidential, the company asked that it not be disclosed before the Chinese New Year, so none of us could disclose filming to the public. Even when I went to film on the day, I couldn't even mention filming to anybody on my team. While we were waiting, I didn't know he was doing a commercial live stream, and the others in the party did not make any prompts before starting. Even before we started, he also filmed all of us with a cell phone because we were filming. By the way, he's allowed to do that. We were all holding little Chinese red flags. She blurred out all their own faces. Are you from Japan? No, I'm from China. Oh, come on, dude. But the YouTuber pianist insisted he knew we were Chinese, but he kept saying we were Japanese provokingly. I don't think he was. They're trying to paint him as a racist, right? She uploaded this and ended up deleting it, by the way. And sorry, we're not in China. This is a public place. Get wrecked, commie. Right? He started to provoke us and make fun of our friend. No, I don't think he was doing that. I think he was just saying, you don't have, you know, whatever, you don't have any right to tell me I can't play this. This is a very discriminating song, he said. She said. What? What? He also said our national flag as a communist flag. Well, you are a communist country, so I would think your flag is, in fact, communist. It represents, I mean, it isn't a, the word is somewhat controversial. What? What does CCP stand for? Doesn't it stand for Chinese Communist Party? Am I wrong about that? Wait, am I, like, have I, is that not what CCP stands for? I genuinely am confused now. I thought this was, I thought that's what CCP stood for. So she ends up uploading this, right? Calling him a racist. Okay. Which is hilarious. Then, now, his channel has been essentially inundated with bots and all sorts of other wild stuff. So they end up porting off the piano altogether, right? Then they submit multiple privacy complaints to his channel to get the video taken down, unsuccessfully, by the way, because it is in a private space. Then, as of what, it keeps escalating every day. Then, his YouTube channel has now been inundated with tens of thousands of Chinese trolls and bots saying the same kind of thing. See this picture? I think they're trying to block the comment section or something. Spent 4 hours trying to delete them. They keep coming back. So now they're filling his comments that says, I can't believe racists still exist. And thank you, Mr. Bodikow, for letting me know that Brendan Kavanaugh is racist. They know that that's a no-no word in this, you know, in the UK and other, you know, really in the West. So that's why they're trying to paint him as that. I don't know if this is, you know, Bodikow is some sort of social media loser or whatever that like uploaded this video and sent these people into, you know, his channel. And then you see this. This is getting interesting to get the full content. Watch a breaking video. There's an ongoing lawsuit against Brendan for defamation and privacy reasons. I will advise you not to share or we will sue you as well. This from China Insider. London was a spy operation. What? What? And then this, just 2 hours ago.
Hi guys, China Insider has just released a video basically explaining what this whole thing was about. It was a spy operation, a propaganda operation, and senior CCP spy Christine Lee was spotted there. It's now been confirmed. They've also started a legal case against me. Can I just show you this? Can you just film this? So I want to put out this video as a request for legal help. Are there any lawyers?
By the way, Brendan, if you're out there, I have a very good lawyer, and I'm happy to put you in contact with them.
Okay.
I also have contacts with good lawyers in the UK, and I can put you in contact with them. You can email me. I've seen you in my comment sections before, so I'm happy to not only help you with that, but also,
No, that's and that's some of them
champion
are kind of like that.
crowdfunding or fundraising for
Not a
you
bad
to
thing.
defend yourself.
Out there or any people out there, because apparently Christine Lee, who's a known CCP spy, is actively suing MI5 for defamation. They're threatening to sue me as well. I know it's ridiculous, but if there's any legal people out there who could help me, let me know. You know what my email is, brencav@hotmail.com. God bless you all. Talk to you.
So it ends up that this person, at least according to this, is actually a Chinese
didn't
spy.
say anything that was wrong, and so I believe that there's no grounds for them, no merit for them to win as well. But I just find it interesting because they're now using UK law to try to further, essentially enact CCP logics in the UK. Now,
Isn't that wild? Like they're trying to, I mean, what?
are not there for the purpose of just celebrating Chinese New Year. They are there for a Chinese political influence campaign. And this was probably organized by Christine Lee, who is sort of the shadowy figure behind all this. And this pretty much confirms it. And the other part, let me just find this. Okay, yeah, so I found it here. She's actually suing apparently Dr. K for defamation and privacy reasons. And then she's like threatening to sue Byron here, Byron Wan, one of the, by the way, if you have Twitter, go follow Byron because he's doing some amazing work here. But they're actively suing Dr. K. Now, this is very interesting because the CCP and Christine Lee is using law warfare, legal warfare to, it's so bizarre, right? Like they're in a free country and this is transnational repression. They're using Chinese Communist Party logics and laws to try to police people in the UK, and now they're suing them. There's no defamation there because obviously we all saw he did not say anything racist. He didn't say anything that was wrong.
Yeah, he didn't defame her or anything like that. You know, it's so wild. She's clearly not a lawyer because if she were, she'd know there's no right to privacy in a public space in UK law. There are a number of cases that have set precedent. I mean, this is getting insane. This is reaching like insane levels. Turns out it was, I don't know if like you would call her a spy, but she was there to film propaganda, apparently. They're trying to get this all shut down. I mean, what a wild thing. What all this from a guy who just wanted to play piano. He just wants to play piano, right? So, you know, if you need some help with your legal stuff, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to boost any crowdfunding campaigns he has. And this has been a wild story. So make sure that you click the subscribe or follow it up button down below to make sure you get all the latest updates as I get them. Wow. What a weird thing. the Streisand effect must not be, you know, the Streisand effect must not be a thing they've heard of in China.
I'm sure that this number 15 that you
Sorry,
on
that
your
was
bottom,
gross, but
you still
I'm
gotta
sick.
wear hair net.
Yes. Yeah, bald people still get dandruff, so.
How's everyone doing today? As people pour in, I'm covering all the news of the day, but I'm also trying to rebuild my Facebook page if you use Facebook. And I know you don't have to tell me if you don't. I know a lot of people don't, but I also know lots of you do. And part of my 2024 plan is to produce, and by the way, I produce unique content for it. Only available, you see it here on my Facebook page. I'm trying to grow my brand using Facebook and Instagram. Obviously, I already use all the new tech, but there's a lot of people that we can save out there. And I had 17,000 followers at one point. Now I have to start all the way over. So facebook.com/thequarteringnews. If you could, please leave a like and a follow on it. If you use Facebook, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. And then, you know, sharing some posts and things like that would help a lot. Got to make up. I know the girl who's in charge of this is absolutely devastated because she had to start all the way over. But all I can do is this, I suppose. But I want to tell you. All right. I don't think the Facebook thing, it was just with me being able to run ads. Like there was some old policy violation on the page that I think is why. And I just wanted to run ads to promote the page. I just want to be like Ben Shapiro, you know? I just want to be like a Ben Shapiro. How about we dunk on Kathy Griffin? Pac-Man 44, Gal Gadot was Miss Israel. Sir Thomas Drake says, when people call me an infidel and Goyim are fighting, when people who call me infidel and Goyim are fighting one another, you drink coffee. Yeah. The poster was saved for later, I bet. Oh, yeah, right. They took it down and they want to put it back up. And then shout out to Anton, King of Biltong. Good afternoon from Anton's in Roanoke, Texas. Free shipping for Biltong with code THEQ on landofbiltong.com and antonusa.com. Looking for a healthier, high-protein snack? Get some Biltong. I do enjoy my Biltong. It's been a key part of my health journey in January. And today, I have crossed the 15 pounds lost. I've lost 15 pounds since I started in the 1st of January. I have 85 to go. I'm trying to lose 100 pounds by next year. I know the first month. I knew the first month was going to be easy. I knew I was going to lose a bunch of weight. Plus, being sick helped. But yeah, now 15 pounds this month. Obviously, you know, I'm not surprised. It's a big start. I always start out good. It's just, you know, I've got to be able to stick to it. And I think I've got a nice long stretch here. Like I've got February, March, April, May. I've got 4 good months where I don't really have like the summer pull of like being unhealthy and drinking and going out a lot. So I'm hoping I can lose like maybe 50 pounds by June. I know that's aggressive, but I have a lot to lose. It's not like I'm trying to go from 140 to, 90. I peaked. That was the fattest I ever was at 365.7. So like I should be able to lose 10 pounds a month pretty aggressive. You know, I know that sounds like a lot, but when you weigh 365 pounds, you know, you have a lot to lose as a percentage. So I'm hoping I can be down. I would really love to be sub 300 by this summer. But that's probably pretty aggressive. I'm not going to get down on myself if I'm not. I just got to stick to it. If I lose like 5, I'm basically doing that fasting 24. That's basically what I'm doing. I know that like just losing 1 to 2 pounds a week is like 1 to 2 pounds a week is very normal, and you know, it's good to, you know, I'm not expecting to lose 15 pounds a month, you know. Have you started a treadmill yet? Yes, I did. I am drinking water only, basically. I drink a Red Bull in the morning, but that's it. That's my treat. Yeah, I think like I look good. I'm almost 6'6". So like when I'm at like 220 to 240, I'm good. Like I'm a big guy. If I'm like 6'5", 240, I'm feeling good, looking good. Epic guitar in my head, that's kind of how I feel. You're right. You can easily lose 15 pounds a month. At least you hit 250 or so. I lost 50 pounds in 5 months by fasting 24 and no sugar. That's kind of what I'm kind of doing. I'm doing the 24 fasting, basically. I'm working my way up to it. It's actually not that hard. I'm pretty regularly going 18 hours. So I think I could go 2 more hours. You know, smoke more cigarettes. I'm off the cigs. Yeah, 250, I'm fine. Yeah. Right. Yeah, nobody knows how tall I am. Every single time someone meets me in real life, they're like, "Whoa, you're way taller than I expected." Every single time. There's a universe where Jeremy's a pro wrestler. That's probably true. I always can start out good. I felt pretty good. I've been able to stick to the fasting thing pretty much. It's just mixing in more exercise, which will help. Don't skip breakfast, skip dinner. Yeah, what I started this week was eating a big breakfast, a medium-sized lunch, and I'm just doing a protein shake for dinner. Just slam a protein shake at like, I start fasting at like 3:30. So I just slam a protein shake at like 3:29 and 30 seconds. I take every possible second, and then I like slam a protein shake, and that's it for the night. Most people won't even know. I'm hoping I can, you know. Everybody has their thing, you know, when you're trying to lose weight, everyone wants their thing that works for them. I get it. Right now, fasting seems to be working good for me. It's only been a month. And the other big thing I've done is obviously cut way back on alcohol. You know, I was like a 3-4 day a week drinker. Now I'm like 1 day. Does shaming work on you? No, not really. Turning 40 worked for me. Turning 40 and having my dad die, that's kind of what worked for me. Not to be so glib. Is that the right definition of that word? I don't mean to be glib, but having my dad die, that kind of, that'll kind of do it. I'm fine, Coop. I'm 100% fine being a little chubby. I'm fine with that. I just don't want to do Hey, good for you, Turtle. I use an app. I use Body Fast. It's free. I use it to track. I'm not like sponsored by them or anything, but I'm sure there are other apps. But
Sparky.
I think I'm out of time. I'm out of time to lose the weight. I'd like to make it to 70. Yeah, my father died when he was 50. When I got close to that age, I got obsessed with my health. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Trump curse. By the way, if you haven't yet, please leave a like and follow my Facebook page at facebook.com/thequarteringnews. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. All right. The Trump curse is real. Now, of course, there's 83 million reasons that might counter to that right now, but we'll see if that number holds.
Okay.
But many of the people who allow Trump derangement syndrome
on a pallet with
to overtake their life see how do I say this? An extremely negative outcome from that.
No,
You
no
see,
food or beverages in the locker
Michael
room
Avenatti,
at all.
the
There's a
Boston
place in the
lawyer.
break room for
I think
that.
he's still in
They
prison.
just don't
right
want pests in
This the chick that who keeps trying to grift off his name, the prawn chick, lost her lawsuit, lost legal fees, and is destitute, right? Kathy Griffin, who famously posed with a head resembling Mr. Trump. By the way, something that I was not outraged by. She should be allowed to do it, but it's stupid and desperate and pandering. Well, now she is begging people to buy tickets to her stand-up comedy tour. Did you know that Kathy Griffin is a stand-up comedian?
Okay.
Don't really think many people
through
knew
this
that.
real quick. And,
Kathy Griffin has issued a plea for her fans to purchase more of her stand-up comedy tour tickets, as she admitted that it is not selling well. The comedian is set to hit the road with her My Life on the PTSD List tour from Des Moines, Iowa on February 2nd, heading to Omaha, Nebraska the next day. You think people in the Midwest know or care about Kathy Griffin? Including Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, Missouri, and Texas. Griffin will wrap up her tour in California in June. Griffin has assured fans that the turmoil in her
well, you do have to
personal
wear a
life
white T-shirt.
should make her a riot when she
Jeans
takes the
or like
stage.
Dickie-type work
Griffin
pants
filed
is fine,
from
too.
divorce from her husband, Randy Bick, her third divorce, by the way, in late December, saying
give them
before
another
their
picture.
before their fourth wedding
First two,
anniversary.
and then
More than
number
2 years earlier, the My Life on the D-List star announced in August 2021 that she had been diagnosed with lung cancer before going on to reveal in November that she was cancer-free. Now, I don't want to say obsessing your life around Donald Trump causes cancer, but, it might. I mean, probably not, right? But maybe? No, it doesn't. And you know what? I want her to be around for a very long time. Speaking of a video shared on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, on Thursday, Griffin told her friends, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had another voice surgery 2 days ago, so my voice is sounding better, I think. And yet, I had the coof, and I have the coof again. And I'm heartbroken because I'm getting divorced. So she got the coof again for the millionth time. I believe this is more than her second time having it, and she was out there. Everyone get the jab. Everyone get boosted. After listing the issues, she went on to state that the true subject of the video. So feel bad for me. I'm getting divorced. I had to have surgery. I have the coof. Please buy tickets. I mean, put some sad music over it. You see this? Kathy Griffin says her comedy tour not selling well. Pleads with fans to buy tickets. I mean, yeah. Comedian is offensive. The content does not sell. Comedian what? I mean, she was bad even on Seinfeld. I have no idea how she managed to do that, but her other performance was epically awful. Average Americans are broke because of the politicians and the agenda she advocated for. A class case of go woke, go broke. I mean, oof. That's Kathy Griffin without makeup? Oof.
Okay, I'm doing one of these videos where I'm looking up.
You are
All right, I'm
set?
going to be honest with you guys.
Which shift did you prefer?
It's all about the tour, man.
Whatever
Just
becomes
freaking
available
get
first.
me
Okay,
to
please.
opening night
First is your
in
preference.
Des Moines.
Okay.
And Omaha is not selling well. Omaha, first of all, there's not enough people there. Okay, so I'm playing Omaha,
I always
Nebraska
put
in
like
February.
first, then second.
Playing it?
All right.
So
Yeah, you keep
I
that,
need
and I'll reach out to you as soon as they give me a
comedy fans
call.
to come out and
So
see me.
I'm hoping we send
Nobody's
some more
going
people
to.
soon.
Imagine paying money to see this. Is this funny? And like, Lord help me. I know that, you know, being an online commentator is not a job that you get to do forever. I understand this. I really do. I'm not like, I get it. And I get that I'm very lucky. I've been very lucky to have been doing it for just as many years as I have. To be honest with you, most people, there are a lot of YouTubers, and I don't want to mention their, you know, I'm not trying to call anyone out because it's just the way it works. But there was a time, you know, during the Last of Us video game drama where a bunch of people, I came up with a bunch of those people. There were a lot of channels that came up during the Brie Larson bonanza. There were a lot of channels, and they've all, many of them have come and gone. Some have stuck around and continue to thrive. But I know that I'm lucky. I'm not saying that I did anything different. I'm just lucky that I have my viewers who have stuck with me. And that my career has lasted here on YouTube as a commentator much longer than it probably likely should have. And Lord help me. Hopefully I will never get this desperate to where I'm just begging I mean, this whole video only got 2,000 likes. And you look at the comments, it's amazing to watch all these elites come back and beg the people they spent so much time insulting to help them get back up on their rich high horse. Nah, I'm going to scroll.
And Kansas City, come on. I need sellouts. I've been through hell.
Oh, yeah, because she had surgery and she had the coof. Because she's going through a rough patch, please give me your money, pores. That's how these people view you, by the way. You're just a tool they use to stay rich.
I've been through so much.
Imagine if she didn't call half of the country garbage people. You know she's got a mad phone filter going on, too. But, like, these people, imagine if she didn't spend the last 4 years calling everyone idiots and, you know, actually since 2016. Imagine if she didn't spend all this time alienating people.
Crap, since my last tour, I just have to laugh at it. I just have to laugh. So please, I think you can even buy tickets like in my bio on here. I don't know how this stuff works, you know me. But for God's sake, come see me on.
Yeah, my entire career depends on me selling tickets, but I can't be bothered to figure out how to tell you where to go to buy tickets. You know me, guys. I'm just like you. I'm just like you. I'm just a goofball, just like you. You know, but buy my ticket. Buy tickets to see my shows. Allegedly. Kathy Griffin is worth many tens of millions of dollars. As of November 2023, Kathy Griffin is allegedly worth between $40 and $50 million. I have no idea, but the house she's living in right now,
Yeah, looks like lizard.
she
person.
paid for in cash and cost $10.5 million. The house she's living in right now, a mansion, she paid cash for. I have no idea how this woman made this much money in life, but it is insane to me. She bought a $10.5 million house in cash. She's worth about she has $35 million in assets. And she's begging the poors to buy tickets to see her. I have no idea how she's worth this much money. I can't even name anything she's ever been on other than like a random episode of Seinfeld or something like that. But this is a woman that hates you, and the comments are just great. I wouldn't come to see if you paid me. You know, Lamau, I'm getting divorced. I've had surgery. I have the coof. My life is a dumpster fire. Ever wonder why? After seeing you and your disgusting sec talk about your niece and nephew, I would never come anywhere around you. I can't believe your sister still talks to you. 10 pounds of makeup and you're still ugly. Find a tent city in the U.S. and move there. Go woke, go broke. How much friggin' paint is on that thing? You should have listened to Joan Rivers more. I mean, all these people, like, just... I'm roasting her, saying she looks like Carrot Top. I don't know who would pay to see this individual, but I certainly have no interest in it. I do love how she's so pathetic to stay relevant that she's begging people to see her online. It does make me sad that she has that much money, though. But I'm still happy she's unhappy. It makes me feel good. It always makes me feel good when bad people are unsuccessful. Just why it makes me more happy. It makes me happy when good people are successful. You know, like the two are not mutually exclusive. I'm to be honest with you, I'd much rather good people succeed than bad people fail. You know, it's Schadenfreude is a thing that isn't really, I don't think it's a good way to live. I don't think, you know, having all that negativity in your life is a good thing. You know, me being a uber liberal, as you know, I just think that it's not a great way to live your life, you know, hoping for everyone else to fail. I think that's ultimately why you end up with a lot of these like far leftists end up like this. You know, they end up old and bitter and alone, and nobody likes them. You know, and they have no kids, and their family doesn't come around anymore because, you know, they've called them all terrible things. It's all weird to me that people end up this way, you know? I don't really understand it. I don't really understand much about it. I don't understand how you could live with that much hate in your heart. It's just so weird. It's so weird. Her heated car seats opened a tunic. Oh, gross. She has a big gay following. Why isn't that huge, an important demographic filling the seats in Nebraska? Yeah, exactly. Isn't that funny how that works out? It's so weird. Why aren't all those gay people that are so important? By the way, I have a lot of love for my gay viewers, and I have gay viewers. It might shock you. I have gay and I have trans viewers. I don't value them any differently than my straight viewers, though. And that's the way it should be. You know, you're not supposed to, like, I don't care who people sleep with as long as they're of age and a willing participant. I don't really care. We need to go back to that. We need to go back to a time in society when that was the case. You know? Well, I think today was a relatively light Newsday. I'm gonna probably wrap it up there and get working on my standalone videos for Rumble. I've got 5 to upload. If you get a chance before the end of the day, if you use Facebook, please do give the Quartering, facebook.com/the Quartering News a like and a follow. I put the link in the chat. And I have to rebuild it from my old Facebook/Quartering page, which apparently is dead now. Do you guys see I got some new shirts? Huh? Boy, I got new shirts for days. I got new shirts for the next 2 weeks. You only use Facebook for stalking. Well, stalk my page. Yeah, there wasn't much going on in the news today, so I'm going to get publishing. And we'll be back tomorrow at noon Eastern. Hey, it's not all plaid. I had a gray sweater I wore yesterday or 2 days ago. I had a gray sweater on. I had a neon yellow sweater that I wore, like a high-vis sweater the other day. I think I can wear orange. I think orange works on me. Huh?
I think she looked a whole lot better before she had all the plastic surgery, though. I don't think she ever looked good.
All right, I'm gonna get to work editing, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right. So we can do a little bit of Anna trolling here. Guys have not been to her page. Ooh. Oh, Anna, what the fuck? I love it. I have studio. Studio. Oops. Shit. For some reason, one thing I really am not happy about. I mean, it's basically the Rumble Studio is a very basic version of StreamYard. And if they're going to charge for it, they're going to have to do some improvements. First of all, I should be able to type in chat. It's not letting me type in chat. I got to open up another tab with the studio or the stream itself going just to type in chat. So that definitely needs to be fixed. Wait for that to open. Oh, it does have it's got a little watermark too, huh? That's interesting. I just opened it up. I didn't even know that the watermark stayed on all the different networks. So, you guys haven't, check out Anna Banana Republic. Her Twitter, she does some awesome trolling. We're gonna check some of it out. Sky, Tower Gang. Okay. All right. We'll chat with that. I'll just check it out on my own too. Okay, so hour ago. Oh, of course, the norm. Get Rosa in.
You tell me, because you're a gay.
No,
the thing is, if you tell listen, man, I'm telling you this right now. Maybe I'm old fashioned, you know, but like, you tell me, because you're a gay guy. But I go into a gym. I go into workout. You know what I mean? I want to work out and I want to get my pecs and lats and shit like that, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But then I go into the locker room. Now, the last thing I want to see there is some guy's fucking hot, beautiful asshole. You know what I mean? Like, I go there and I do the curls, I do this thing here.
Literally doing
that gets the chest, and I go like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the fucking locker room hiding behind a fucking thing, staring at the guy's beautiful balls from behind. You know what I mean? I got no time for that shit. I went to Brokeback Mountain, and I thought it was a Western. Fucking tell me it's a Western. No, I'm not. I hope I'm not homophobic.
You know, that's what everybody says that tries to sneak in and doesn't want to admit they wanted to see it, I heard. They go, I thought it was a Western.
That's what I thought. I swear to God. They told me it's a Western. Now I'm sitting in the back, I'm watching it, and I'm like, where's the guy? I want to see a guy with a white hat and a guy with a black hat, and I want to see them shooting each other up in front of the saloon, you know? Last thing I want to see is a close-up of a beautiful hot cock slipping into an asshole. Now, they didn't show that in the movie. Well, why not? If they're going to make a movie, make it right. So I want to be in the back cheering, go, go, sheriff. You'll get the fucking townsfolk behind you. You know, when it really comes down to it, I don't want to be fucking whacking off on some fucking guy in front of me and come all over him. And then he's got come all over him. And then he's young. And then who's the homophobe, right? This guy is so fucking unsure of his sexuality. He's mad at me because I jizzed all over his face.
Norm, you've never made so much sense. Seriously. It's good to see you got your wits all about you. You seem in good spirits.
I swear to God.
I've never seen you.
I told Laura Jo I would be clean.
On this show?
Yeah, Laura Jo keeps going, stop being so dirty.
You know what? Well, I don't know.
Do you want to do some jokes?
Yeah, can I
we
tell
have
you?
jokes on these cards.
Let's see, what do we got? Richard. This is me. My family, heaven gained another angel today, blah, blah, me in hell. That's a good one. I was trying to make this is from 1984. I was trying to get some sound when I looked at it yesterday. I was like, oh, it's a GIF. Yeah, we NCAP trucker, growing food and driving semis, in the Fed, in the wars, troll alphabet agencies. Yes. Well, he's followed by a lot of people I follow. Well, 3 people. All right. Check them out. That steak looks delicious. Is that from Matrix? Yeah, my dad used to tell me about, like, in swim class in high school in the 60s. It was all dudes, so they didn't even wear swimsuits. They just swam naked. Like, at first I was like, you're full of shit. But I beg to differ, Anna. 40 in shape females. Even all sweaty. I think it'd be all right. I saw this post yesterday too. That's weird. The whole thing there. Oh yeah, there's lots of private. I worked for one in Louisiana. Well, I'm just saying. I didn't even know who this Owen Benjamin was until I saw this X or tweet. I went and checked them out, and I started trolling them too. It's a GIF. That's the sound. The song in the background. I'm not gonna.
This is the exterminator you called for you.
Yeah, I can't play it.
Legacy will be hurt. Now, do you think Cosby's legacy will be hurt?
Yeah.
You do, huh? I mean, there was a comedian, Patton Oswalt, he told me, I think the worst part of the Cosby thing was the hypocrisy. And I disagreed.
You disagree with that?
Yeah. I thought it was the raping. That's my feeling. Most rapists are hypocrites. You don't meet many go, I like raping, and I know it's not politically correct, but by God, people go, well, he's not being a hypocrite, and that's the worst part. Now, do you think Cosby's legacy
Jinx. Crack connoisseur. Let's check it out.
Doesn't believe that evil exists.
Our group is known for absolute precision. Okay, vampire killer.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes. No.
No.
Sir.
Who's my hero?
That's a great question. Well, I think my dad is my hero because he's someone that I look up to every day. And
The man in the middle is quite deceptively in a violent position on the field. He slaps, he punches the forearm, and it's an unremitting storm of subconcussive blows. He hit as a weapon on every single play, on every single game, on every single practice, from the time he was a little boy to a college man, culminating in an 18-year professional.
Solid blow, and deposits a mighty two-run homer into the upper left field deck.
Unfortunately, humanity doesn't believe that evil exists. Where does it exist?
Don't you feel silly?
And you'd be horrified to realize where they're all located.
You know that it's only going to get better and better.
You don't really want to see the when you come in and give it till you get up on it till a nigga numb. Do what I want to do until I make another nigga drop. I don't want to do it on the one. You think football is still fun? You do whatever you want to do.
100%.
Who are you?
What's the matter, Dina? Don't you recognize your own mother? I don't think so.
Who are you?
What's the matter, Dina? Don't you recognize your own mother? I don't think so.
How do you go about writing a life story? The two things rarely get into circulation. These are the four. My spine turns to custard. I get goose pimply all over it, and I come every time.
Your brain is being deprived of dream sleep, so then it feasts.
It almost seems like it, doesn't it, Pure Morton? Oh, wow. Yeah. Not a good time for him.
Holy fuck! Holy fuck!
Jesus.
Don't you feel stupid? Don't you feel a little ashamed?
Died. Love Sam Hyde.
Don't you feel silly? Don't you feel stupid? Don't you feel a little ashamed? Don't you feel silly? Don't you feel stupid? Don't you feel...
Obsessed with me, keep it on the low. It's clear that you're upset with me. Please don't let it show. Get delusional, keep it on the low. I was like,
a transsexual, which is a legitimate 10, or a woman, which is a legitimate 1. And everyone's sitting there clicking woman, because they think they're going to be gay. But they're not actually thinking about the question. I'm so smart. I operate on so many levels higher than the average man. You people are not thinking about the question. When I say a 1 and a 10, I mean Megan Fox with a dick. That's the trend. Hogan with a pussy. That's the girl. This is the question I'm asking. Megan Fox. You're thinking, well, I don't want to be gay, so just push the girl number 1. Look at you're fucked up, Hogan. Sure, there's a pussy, he's got mustache and muscles and shit. Hairy, good dude, 6'5". Pretty gay to me. That sounds pretty gay. I don't care if it's pussy. That is gay. With Megan Fox, okay, he's got a dick, but maybe you can like scoot it. out the way. I'm sitting like a fox. Once at least she's small and shouldn't be hanging around her neck and mess her up. Hoping to mess you up.
This morning, prosecutors there say they will reopen an investigation into the rape allegations against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange.
Come on!
Scissor.
Bulls has to get rid of it in a hurry, and one-handed is made.
The title actually finds the defendant George Hohenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information.
In his last 36 hours at the Sousa Baranowski Correctional Center in Massachusetts, Aaron Hernandez called friends and family. Sounding upbeat, planning visits with people on the outside.
Ain't no brain, man.
A very reasonable person. My existence is characterized by suffering, and if I wanted to sick my internet trolls on Channel 4, then there'd be nothing but broken windows and riots. Wouldn't that be fun? Look the fuck out. Because I'm a reasonable person, a very reasonable person. My existence is characterized by suffering, and if I wanted to sick my internet trolls on Channel 4, then there'd be nothing but broken windows and riots.
I think most people think rape as it is a violent assault to this man. I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasy.
Even that's a watermark.
It's fascinating to talk to them.
This way.
Saudi Arabia.
I like the kid. And I'm coming.
I said,
we're losing our
Holy fuck, you have a lot of money. This girl just got shot in the front of the head.
They gonna be triggered when I wear it. I am not
I'm dead.
Don't you feel silly? Very fine people on both sides. We like to troll. We like to go the night before one of their primaries. We do a little trolling. Don't you feel a little ashamed?
It hurt. It just, you know.
Sticky gloves? Well, it's illegal. What's it? Movies.
Put your mother in straight back to your punk ass. Come and say in my face. Fuck you ass to everybody.
You feel that?
Look at you scared now. You old. Like a little white pussy.
No, I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago. And I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
I am interested.
When you're really happy, you think you're going to make a really good picture. I hope it's going to come picture.
I was so hungry. I didn't mean to hurt my family. Oh, please, please don't. No, people won't to look after.
He just hasn't connected with us.
Not gonna show movies on YouTube. All right. Put your husband on right now. Oh, shit. They are, but they're awesome. The Vlad the Impaler. Gene Hackman Day? Oh, no, 94th birthday. This was a good scene.
Why don't you drink?
Yeah. It's more hidden now.
Why'd you leave anyway?
There's a tradition in tournament play to not talk about the next step until you've climbed the one in front of you. I'm sure going to the state finals is beyond your wildest dreams, so let's just keep it right there. Forget about the crowds, the size of the school, their fancy uniforms, and remember what got you here. Focus on the fundamentals that we've gone over time and time again. And most important, don't get caught up thinking about winning or losing this game. If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners. Okay? Let's be real clear about what we're after. 5 players on the floor function as one single unit. Team, 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 right? No one more important than the other. Okay, hold it. I'm a Democrat, but I also loved the idea of that man. He was so committed to America. A beautiful American.
Well, you never worked with him, right?
I didn't, but I met him, and it's funny, we have an occasion to meet a lot of famous people, being in this profession, and I was sitting outside the Oval Office thinking, well, I'll get this over with and go to lunch or whatever. When I got in the Oval Office, I was like, hey, this is really something.
Yeah,
and I was very affected by it, and by him.
It hits you.
Yeah, it does.
But you love President Reagan.
I did, yes. I'm a Democrat.
Hello.
This is Doyle. I'm sitting on Frog One.
Yeah, I know that. Got the Westbury covered like a tent.
The Westbury, my ass.
I got him on the shuttle at Grand Central. Now, what the hell's going on up there? I make him come out of the hotel. He was free as a bird. He went on solo away.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, well, listen, now, I don't care how many bartenders you got that are sick. Nah, I'm not working that joint. That's right. Same to you, buddy.
Thank you. Hello.
This is going.
That's cool. Whoa. So, did you guys hear what happened with Predator Poacher, Alex Rosen? He did like a long ass video. And they wouldn't even look at his evidence after the guy he got the guy admitting to CP on film. Look at them. Yeah, he's one of the hunters, but he does a really good job with it too. He's look at this. Let me show you. All right. Listen to this. I think I played it yesterday, just the audio. Wait. Ooh, in Ohio.
Whoa, that looks very sus.
I know. He'd been black. He'd been shot for that. Arlette. What up, buddy? We're just testing out the Rumble Studio here. So listen to this state trooper. It's their statement, but listen to this state trooper.
We have a conviction.
I just contacted the state police computer crimes.
Okay.
They're highly regarded in our state. They are the flagship of our state. The lieutenant is aware, and I just talked to the sergeant in charge of that unit, which I am an affiliate agent with. And again, that we will not use any. They're aware of your group. Apparently dealt with your group, I guess, in another capacity, right, on another case. But again, any information this kid wants to give me, he can. If he chooses not to, I can. I don't know how you have any ability to take his phone and download or extract. I don't know what you're doing.
We did it. We will. Basically, we're just telling him that his phone's still on a charger in our car. It's on airplane mode right now. It's not actually downloading and extracting anything.
Okay.
But he gave me the passcode to his phone. He admitted there's child pornography on there as young as 8. He said he beats off to infants. He said he has a real life victim. He said her name. I mean, this is all stuff that wasn't.
Okay, I'll see if he wants to give me that information.
Okay. Well, can we send you the video here?
I can't take anything from you. I can't take anything from you. I'm sorry. Again, I'm being instructed by.
That was nuts.
Well, in Maine.
Wow. Yeah, I've been sick since Sunday night myself. Well, I don't want to sit around at home. That's why I go in. I don't have a ton of interaction. Honestly, I don't care if I get other folks sick. Whoever got me sick didn't care. Build up that immunity, that herd immunity. This guy's an idiot. thought he was going to drop that video on here. Some locals now. You got to pay for it. Well, Hodge Twins even jumped in on it.
Holy shit! What the fuck? What the fuck's going on? What the fuck? Holy shit! What the fuck's going on here? Dude, what? What even is this? What the fuck was that? You good, baby? Oh, this cat's stuck. Okay, never mind. It's good. All right. Well, I mean, this place is dirty as shit, but it's like rat-free at least. Wow, nice bed setup. All right. What the fuck? Holy shit! What the fuck? What the fuck's going on?
My love. Some funny shit. All right, I'm gonna probably play the rest of this video. Then I'm gonna call it. So this is oh wait, let's get this one first.
Welcome once again to Leto's Law. Here's Steve Leto.
One of the earliest videos I did in this channel is called Don't Buy an RV. Inspired largely by a piece I wrote for Jalopnik called Don't Buy an RV. And the piece and the video got so much reaction that it's been a popular topic to discuss RVs on this channel and the purchases of them. And so Ross, who is an attorney in Salem, Virginia, sent me a note yesterday. Said, Steve, check this story out. It's an opinion issued by a federal judge on an RV case. Someone bought an RV, had problems with it, filed a lawsuit, and to see what they went through and where they are right now makes you understand that if you want to buy an RV today, you must be borderline insane if you want to buy a brand new one. Otherwise, if you see what you're up against, you might have second thoughts. So that's my point here is you can buy one if you want to, but don't complain later when somebody goes, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you know, you're out of luck. Sorry, you are on notice with cases like this. The case is called McCauley versus FCA because Chrysler is a party to this. They built apparently a portion of the vehicle underneath that drives it around. But this matters before the court, again, a federal court, Virginia, on defendant Camping World RV Sales, motion to dismiss, and defendant Thor Motor Coach's motion to transfer the case. So the plaintiff filed the complaint alleging breaches of contractual and statutory warranties against FCA, Camping World, and Thor. Camping World now seeks to dismiss the plaintiff's claim against it, and Thor seeks to transfer the case to Indiana, South Bend, to be more specific. The parties have filed memoranda supporting their respective positions. The court heard oral argument on August 3rd, 2023. For the following reasons, the motions will be granted. On November 20th of 22, plaintiff purchased the 2022 Thor Tolero camper van from Camping World, a retail sales outlet, and the price was $99,000, $99,545 to be exact. When making this purchase, plaintiff signed a buyer's order, which we'll also call a purchase contract, with Camping World. The purchase contract contained a warranty disclaimer on the front page that reads, dealer makes no guarantee or warranty express or implied. This vehicle is sold by dealer as is with no dealer guarantee or warranty implied or express. Dealer does not affirm or adopt any manufacturer warranties available to this unit or any of its components. The rest here is in all caps and underlined and bolded. Dealer hereby disclaims and excludes from the sale all warranties expressed or implied, including the implied warranty of merchantability and the implied warranty of fitness. Buyer acknowledges this disclaimer is made in capitalized, bold, and underlined font and is conspicuous. Now, that's funny. That's funny. Because one of the things that they discuss is that these warranties must be conspicuous. And I've seen warranties that were in the same size font as everything else around them. So here they made it bold, underlined, and in all caps. And then they actually have you signing a document that says that you find it to be conspicuous. So you can't make the argument, well, Your Honor, it wasn't conspicuous, because the judge can say, well, you signed a statement that it was. But most people don't know what that means. Most people have got no clue what any of that means when they're buying their $99,000 RV. Meanwhile, the back of the contract contained a separate disclaimer, which said, and again, all caps, bold, underlined, disclaimer of warranties, limitation, exclusion of remedies. Dealer makes no guarantee or warranty expressed or implied and hereby disclaims and excludes the implied warranty of merchantability and the implied warranty of fitness for a particular purpose from this sales transaction. And such warranty shall not apply to this transaction or the unit. Buyer understand and agree that dealer makes no warranty on this unit and that any pre-delivery inspection or service performed does not constitute or create any dealer warranty of any type, express or implied. Buyer understands and agrees that all terms of this agreement are binding and shall apply in all instances, even if buyers elect to purchase an extended service contract. Buyers understand and agree that the express terms of any manufacturer's written warranty, to the extent any exist and apply to the unit, contain and constitute buyer's exclusive and sole remedy for any problems or defects the unit might contain. Buyers understand and agree that any other potential available remedy under the Uniform Commercial Code or otherwise, including but not limited to rejection, rescission, or revocation of acceptance, are hereby disclaimed by and unavailable against dealer. Buyers understand and agree that the terms of this agreement, including all disclaimers of warranties and damages, are conspicuous and shall apply under all circumstances, even if buyers' available remedies fail of their essential purpose. Again, I'm laughing because, number one, it's so comprehensive. And number two, there's your disclaimer right there. See all that big, bold lettering? Okay, one of the biggest disclaimers I've ever seen in my legal career, and I've been practicing law for 32 years. And that's not hyperbole. That is not. During the transaction, plaintiff also signed a warranty registration form for the limited warranty that Thor provided for the vehicle. Both the limited warranty and the registration form contained a forum selection clause. And that's where you, in advance, you agree if there's going to be an argument, we're going to have it over there. So any lawsuits in this matter would have to be filed in Indiana, governed by Indiana law. So you can buy this thing in Florida. You can buy it in California. You can buy it in Alaska, assuming there's a dealer up there. But you have a problem with it? You got to go to Indiana and file your action there. Just to let you know. So that clause read, I understand that exclusive jurisdiction for deciding legal disputes relating to alleged breach of express warranty and applied warranties that arise by operation of law, as well as those relating to representations of any nature, must be filed in the courts within the state of manufacture, which is Indiana. If there is a conflict between this forum selection clause and another party's forum selection clause, this forum selection clause controls. They're anticipating that another party might stick a forum selection clause into their disclaimers. About 2 weeks after purchase, the van began having issues. Plaintiff says the roof, ceiling fan, and vent leaked. There was damage to the plumbing, a cracked pump, and a backward filter. Now, we don't know which filter that was. Most notably, the engine failed. And the steering locked up while plaintiff was driving on the interstate. After this happened, the van was towed to an FCA dealer in Virginia. Plaintiff asserts that despite multiple repair attempts, the van remains unrepaired to this day. So he had it 2 weeks, broke down, took the dealer, hasn't been fixed since. That's the allegation. Keep in mind that for the purposes of this motion, the court assumes those to be true. So someone in the audience will go, well, Steve, we don't know their doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The allegation is they had it for 2 weeks, broke down, hasn't been fixed since. Okay? So remember, they bought it in 2022 in November. So it was still 2022 when it broke down, and it's been at a dealer all of 2023 and wherever we are right now, 2024. So the allegation is that's the case, and the court says, let's assume those facts are true. Based on these facts, plaintiff filed the following action: breach of warranty, revocation of acceptance, breach of express and implied warranties under Mag-Moss, and violation of the Motor Vehicle Warranty Enforcement Act, which I'm guessing is Virginia's Lemon Law. So the court then addresses Camping World's motion to dismiss. And Camping World brought that, and the court does say here that the court accepts as true all well-pled facts and all of that. If the allegations are facially plausible, then the court will assume they're true for these purposes, but says, you know something? Camping World says that they disclaimed all their warranties. So in order to disclaim all implied warranties under Virginia law, a written disclaimer must be conspicuous and mention merchantability. Was their disclaimer conspicuous? Well, yes, it was, because the plaintiff even signed a statement saying it was. And did it mention merchantability? It mentioned it at least twice. I don't have to go back and look at it. I remember twice. Those are the kinds of things that I count because I'm an attorney. So it turns out that the court finds that those disclaimers are all good, and Camping World gets out of the lawsuit. You cannot sue who you bought it from. Doesn't matter how defective it is. You signed a statement saying you wouldn't do that. So now let's get back to the manufacturer. Now, the manufacturer didn't file a motion to dismiss. They filed a motion to transfer to get the case from Virginia up to Indiana. Transfer of a civil case in federal court is governed by statute, which states that for the convenience of parties and witnesses in the interest of justice, a district court may transfer any civil action to any other district or division where it might have been brought, or to any district or division which all parties have consented. So the statute says specifically that the parties can consent, and it doesn't matter if you consented before or after you filed your lawsuit. You consented. You signed a statement saying you consented. And again, a lot of people are going to go, Steve, but no one would know what that meant. Who knows what forum selection means if you're not an attorney? Doesn't matter. I'm not saying this is right. I'm just saying this is the state of the industry right now. You go into a dealer, especially a big dealer, and buy one of these. They're going to have you sign a document like that. And you go, well, I don't want to buy this thing without, if I have to sign that document. I go, too bad. Too bad. Don't buy it then, because they all do it. They all do it. So then the question becomes, what about FCA? Because as you may guess, FCA, which is the, I like to jokingly say FC stands for formerly Chrysler, but it's it's what we call Chrysler these days. And of course, it's Fiat Chrysler. FCA LLC, I believe, is the official name of the entity. But they built apparently the drivetrain and possibly the chassis or whatever's underneath this thing. And of course, they have a presence in all 50 states. And they actually didn't have much of a dog in this fight because they don't really care where it gets tried. Except if you're a defendant, you'd like to see the plaintiff jump through hoops to get to court. So FCA kind of stepped back and said, we'll let these parties fight over this. And so the federal court said, because you signed all of those heinous disclosures, heinous being my word, not theirs, you are bound by them. And you agreed, number one, to never sue the selling dealer, regardless of what happened to this thing. And number two, you agreed to try this case in Indiana under Indiana law. Now, they raised a bunch of arguments, the plaintiff did, including an argument that he lives in Virginia, he bought it in Virginia. Shouldn't Virginia law govern that transaction? Wouldn't you think? Well, you signed a statement saying you're happy to try it in Indiana under Indiana law. And you signed that statement. And so I get phone calls about RVs at my office. And I tell people I don't handle RV cases anymore, largely because of this. This has gotten worse over the years. I used to handle RV cases. And RVs used to be sold with purchase agreements very similar to what they use for cars. And for whatever reason, the RV industry started going more and more in this direction, both at the sales level between you and the seller and with the manufacturer and their warranties and all the disclaimers there. And of course, the forum selection clause. So if you buy an RV today at a big dealer, chances are they're going to ask you to sign a document that is going to look a lot like this and a lot like that. And then they go, just sign this. And I dare you to ask the salesman, what does this mean? And the salesman will probably say, oh, it's just legalese. Our attorneys put that there. Or I don't know, that's just in the document. It's just there. We're not allowed to change this. And pre-printed forms always look like they're carved in stone. They're not. You could negotiate that, but they aren't willing to negotiate on it. And that's the craziest part to me. The guy's buying a $99,000 RV. $99,000. Okay? And yet, I'm willing to bet you he had a zero bargaining power at the dealership.
Laying off a ton of people.
Now, you'd think if you sit down at any other place and you're about to spend $99,000, you'd think you'd get some consideration. You said, hey, I want to modify some terms of this contract. I want to change this. I want one of those. I want to move this around. That right there is carved in stone. You cannot change any of that verbiage. You cannot. And so if you're going to get yourself an RV these days, understand this, that you're getting yourself into a purchase, which if everything goes perfectly well, you're fine. If anything goes wrong, you might find yourself in a situation like this guy who files the lawsuit and finds out that, number one, he cannot sue the seller. Number two, he must go to Indiana to sue the manufacturer and, strangely enough, to sue Chrysler. And it's all going to be handled under Indiana law. And that's because he signed documents consenting to that. I've mentioned before, and this is one of those adages you should remember. If you sign a document, most courts will assume that you read it, that you understood it, and that you agreed to it. That's what your signature means, okay? In a contract setting. So someone hands you a contract, goes, here, sign this. If you don't agree with it, don't sign it. You cannot later say, I didn't understand it. It's presumed you understood it, okay? That's important to understand. And Ross pointed out one thing that I don't talk much about. I've mentioned it before in passing. But there's a legal concept called revocation of acceptance. And let's suppose that I go into the widget store to buy a widget, and I'm purposely using a non-automobile example. I go into the store to buy a widget. A widget is a device that does something. And I drop $1,000 buying a widget. And it's in a box. And the guy goes, I guarantee you this thing will work. It even says in the box, manufacturer warrants it, all that. Let's assume that there's no signed documents or anything like that. I simply buy a $1,000 widget. Take it home, take it out of the box, does not work. Assume these facts are true, it does not work. I take it back to the selling dealer, I say, hey, look, my widget doesn't work. And the guy goes, hey, let me take it back and look at it. Guy takes it around back, you hear him back there fidgeting and nuts and bolts and screwdrivers, comes back out and goes, here you go, it works now. It works now. You take it home, plug it in, it does not work. Assume these facts are true. Still does not work. You bring it back to the dealer and go, dude, my widget still doesn't work. You told me it was fixed. Guy goes, I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. I fixed it. It worked. And you go, dude, I've had this thing now, and I brought it home a couple times. It does not work. Can you replace it for me? The guy goes, no. Can I have my money back? No. You can, at that point in time, revoke your acceptance of it. Because when you accepted it, you did not know that it didn't work. And this is covered by the UCC. So you have the right to then give it back to them and go, okay, I no longer accept it. Now I want my money back. Now, they're probably not going to give you your money back. I've dealt with so many revocation cases where somebody gave something back and the seller refused to refund their money. But believe it or not, one of the most famous cases in Michigan is a case called Colonial Dodge, where a guy revoked his acceptance of a station wagon back in, I believe, 1978. I could be wrong on the year, but it's been a little while since I looked at it. And he revoked his acceptance of the station wagon. And he actually left it parked in front of his house, and he called the dealer and said, come get it. And they said, no. And so he filed a lawsuit. Guess what? That went to the Michigan Supreme Court. They said, yeah, you can revoke acceptance of it. And by the way, leaving it in front of your house and telling them to come get it is actually a perfectly good way to do that. It might be an extreme case. But the point is that if the seller doesn't deliver by giving you something that you were negotiating with them to buy, you can revoke acceptance if they can't cure it by remedying it or replacing it. So they actually put that concept in their disclaimer and said, you're waiving that too. So inside this mass of disclaimers, it says, oh, by the way, you are giving up your right to revoke your acceptance of this if it doesn't meet the needs of the contract. So their legal liability ends the second you take delivery of that. And now it might be true that you got the right to bring it to them for service under the manufacturer's warranty, but that's different. So if this thing doesn't work, it doesn't run, you'd think in a typical situation with a widget, you can revoke your acceptance of it. Here you can't. You waived your right to do that. So again, most people are going to say, but Steve, how would anybody know that? Well, here you are signing a document containing phrases you don't understand. Probably shouldn't do that. So again, that gets me back to my original theme, why you'd have to be insane to buy an RV nowadays. And that's why. Now, it very well could be that you buy an RV, you travel the country with it in your golden years, and you're happy until the day you and it die. Hopefully it outlives you. That could be the case. That could be the case. However, if it's not, good luck with court, because there's going to be a bunch of documents you probably signed that painted you into a corner that you can't get out of. So there you go. Ross, thanks for sending it. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Leto's Law. When the
suing the parent companies of Macy's and Sunglass Hut after he was wrongfully accused and arrested for robbery in Harris County in 2022. But that's just where the story begins. Fox 26's Anthony Antoine spoke with the victim's lawyer. He joins us now with those details. Anthony.
Well, faulty facial recognition software is at the heart of this case. 61-year-old Harvey Eugene Murphy Jr., a grandfather, was taken to jail because the technology pinned him as the primary suspect for that robbery. But according to the lawsuit, he was taken to jail, and in a matter of hours, he was beaten, raped, and then released. And now, years later, he's suing. On January 22nd, 2022, this Sunglass Hut on West Gray in Houston was robbed by two armed men. The employees inside were threatened at gunpoint and taken to the back of the store while the suspects stole money and several pairs of glasses.
Sunglass Hut may not have access to facial recognition software. And so the documents show that they took the video to Macy's, who then used his features to determine that he was the one that had robbed the Macy's before and identified him as Mr. Murphy and told Sunglass Hut.
Daniel Duco, the lawyer for 61-year-old Harvey Eugene Murphy Jr., who is from Houston, says his client was in California at the time of the crime. Murphy Jr. eventually moved back to Texas for work in October of 2023.
And he goes to the DMV to get his driver's license renewed. And the police officer comes from around the counter and puts handcuffs on him and arrests him.
And that was the beginning of a life-changing ordeal. Murphy was taken to jail for multiple felony warrants for the robbery at the Sunglass Hut. Court documents suggest the store employee was also prepped by the company and identified Murphy as the robber, with facial recognition playing a key role in his arrest. Murphy gave officers his alibi. It checked out, and he was told he would be released.
While he was being held in jail, he was going to use the restroom. He was beaten, sexually assaulted, raped.
Because of the nature of the alleged crime, lawyers say Murphy Jr. was put alongside violent criminals. 3 men followed him to the bathroom and raped him with a shank pressed against his neck. He was released and the case was dismissed. He is now suing the parent company of Sunglass Hut and Macy's for using the facial recognition software that led to his false imprisonment. The dangers of using this technology is also outlined in court documents.
I know for a fact that studies have shown that African Americans have a high rate of false positives based on facial recognition software. I also know comparing people who are older with pictures of them, of other people when younger, so age gaps have a very high rate, up to 90% of false positives.
According to his lawyer, Murphy has long-standing physical and psychological injuries, and he is now coming forward to raise awareness and hopefully prevent this from happening to someone else. Now, I want to note here the Houston Police Department and Harris County is not named in this lawsuit. It's a long list of people here, and they're not one of them. Murphy's attorney also believes the parent companies from Macy's and Sunglass Hut are the real people at fault here, and they are suing for $10 million. We did our due diligence. I reached out to Macy's. They say, quotes, we have no comment on pending litigation.
They just, how did this happen?
Whoa.
At the same time, the president's been very clear that we want to prevent broader escalation. We want to prevent this conflict from spreading. So we are intent on doing both. That is, standing up for our people when they're
They
attacked,
should be primarily the ones
while at the same time working every single day to prevent the conflict from growing and spreading. And that's exactly what we'll continue to do. It's fundamentally what's in the interest of the United States, what's in the interest of the region, and I think what's in the interest of the world. But the president said this, I think, virtually from day one, to anyone who would try to use the crisis in the Middle East, the conflict in the Middle East, to sow further instability and to use it as an excuse to attack our personnel. We will respond. We will respond strongly. We will respond at a time and place of our choosing. And obviously, I'm not going to telegraph what we might do in this instance or get ahead of the president, but I can, again, tell you that as the president said yesterday, we will respond. And that response could be multi-leveled, come in stages, and be sustained over time.
It's ridiculous.
All right, I wonder if they're going to send them an invitation to the bombing attack or something. So, all right, so that is Blinken. Now, here is the background on the choice that Biden faces coming up. They say Biden met with his top aides on Monday. What is he going to do about all this? To review potential Americans and a response to a drone attack that killed service members, three service members over the weekend. Now, the United States believes that Iranian-backed militants were behind the drone strike, and Biden is ramping up a re-election campaign, perfect, good timing, against a Republican opponent who boasts of his toughness against Iran. Now, making any option politically perilous as well as militarily fraught. Biden has promised to, quote, hold those accountable who are responsible, but exactly how he plans to do that is unclear. The drone attack, which marked the first known time a U.S. soldier has been killed in the fallout from the Israel-Gaza war, killed 3 Army Reserve members at Fort Moore in Georgia. Dozens more injured. U.S. officials said that they were part of a mission working with partners to counter the Islamic State in the region, and that their presence was unrelated to American support for Israel. We do not seek another war, says John Kirby. I've got clips from him. We do not seek to escalate. A spokesman for the White House said, but we will absolutely do what is required to protect ourselves. Kirby declined to answer questions about the time.
Fuck out of there.
I'm not going to telegraph anything, obviously. As top Biden advisors debate how to calibrate their response, the U.S. is also in the midst of sustained military strikes against the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen in retaliation for their attacks on ships off the Arabian Peninsula. Apparently, they're not learning their lesson either. The militant group says it launched those attacks in solidarity with the Palestinians. Now, in Jordan, the American troops were killed Sunday morning after U.S. Air Force defenses failed to intercept a drone launched by an Iranian-backed militia, officials said. Specific group, I guess, who? Because it was mistaken for a friendly drone. Now, Biden made no public appearances on Monday. Typical. And his only comments on the death so far came at a campaign event. So he's campaigning. He's like, what? That's weird. Now, we had a tough day last night in the Middle East, he said. We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases. I'd ask for a moment of silence for all 3 of those fallen soldiers. Sunday night's attack raised new questions about Biden's handling of this conflict, which has involved a tight embrace of Israel. And I don't know if they would agree with that. Like, I think there are people on, that side who might say, yeah, really? As it mounts, because he's kind of hedging both sides, right? And this is where he's catching flack from both sides. Now, a military campaign against Hamas in Gaza that has killed more than 26,000 Palestinians. The Israeli onslaught is in response to a terrorist rampage by Hamas, in which militants killed more than 1,200 people, most of them civilians, and took over 250 people as hostage. The war set off a ripple of violence across the Middle East, much of it fomented by militants allied with Iran. In addition to Sunday's drone strike, Biden officials are urgently trying to prevent open warfare between Israel and Hezbollah, a powerful Iranian-backed group based in Lebanon on Israel's northern border. Now, Republicans are talking about this. We're going to go to them here in a minute. But on Capitol Hill, Republicans slammed the White House for not hitting back faster. Lindsey Graham's like, nuke Iran. They're saying, it's calling Biden weak citing the Trump administration's assassination of Soleimani, right? I mean, it's like, if you're going to attack, it's like, you probably better do it that way. As an example of a successful deterrent strike. I remember that, man. Everybody's like, what? Were we YouTubing back then? I don't think no, in 2020. I mean, I think we were. Maybe we were talking about COVID. I don't know that we talked about that. But yeah, a lot of people were very concerned about that too. Like, oh gosh, now we're going to war. Now we're going to war with Iran. I remember a lot of people really hitting the panic button, like, here we go. Didn't happen. Now, Rep. Bacon, a member of the Armed Services Committee, said the U.S. should target Iran directly. Don't go after their groups. I can tell you that Iran doesn't care if their proxy forces get a black eye. But Bacon, along with other Republicans, stopped short of calling for Biden to hit Iran. He said he would not support U.S. airstrikes deep inside Iran at this point. And others, Lindsey Graham said, hit Iran, hit him hard. To the chicken hawks calling for war, you're playing into the enemy's hands, said Rep. Seth Moten from Massachusetts. He's a Marine Corps vet. Says, and I'd like to see you send your sons and daughters to fight. We must have an effective strategic response. Deterrence is hard, war is worse. Now, Biden and his top aides for months have been trying to prevent this from spiraling out of control. But in recent weeks, the escalation has raised the stakes significantly. Some members of Congress are expressing discomfort. Bipartisan group of lawmakers sent a letter to the president on Friday. Let's see what this one said. I'm not going to read that one. At the White House on Monday, Kirby was asked whether Biden had the necessary authority to respond. And we've got some Kirby clips coming up. But the last time Biden faced deaths of American troops was when 13 Americans were killed during the Afghanistan withdrawal. And so pressures just keep escalating over there. We have this clip from John Kirby. He gets into it a bit with this reporter who's asking him about all of this. And here's what that sounds like.
President West sent a letter on Friday from a bipartisan group of lawmakers, and he had been accused of unauthorized strikes against the Houthis by bypassing Congress. They said no president, regardless of political party, has the constitutional authority to bypass Congress on matters of war. Do you think that that would apply here, given this escalation?
We're not at war with the Houthis. We're not looking for a war with Iran. The president is comfortable that he has the appropriate legal authorities to act in self-defense of our ships, our sailors, our troops, and our facilities at sea or shore.
Right. Isn't it time to involve the American people? I mean, given the fact that the American people were not happy about,
I suspect the American people are not happy about attacks on commercial shipping in the Red Sea. I also suspect they're not happy about seeing American troops killed at a base in Jordan. The president has the authority to defend those troops and those facilities, and he'll do that.
He's weighing all of his options. This is an election year. Is the president looking at his polling when he's weighing all of these options? Is the president looking at what?
My goodness. That's a heck of a question. He's not looking, ma'am. Let me just stop you right there. Commander-in-Chief is not looking at polling or considering the electoral calendar when he's defending.
How they feel about the war on Gaza?
Oh, now, can I answer the question? He's not looking at political calculations or the polling or the electoral calendar as he works to protect our troops ashore and our ships at sea. And any suggestion to the contrary is offensive.
Oh, John.
Is he looking at the polling with respect to, does the American public want a broader Middle East conflict when he weighs his political decision-making?
Ma'am, I've answered that question.
Okay, let's go. You didn't answer that question. Is he weighing that?
He is not concerning himself with the political calendar.
The American public have the opportunity to weigh in on whether they want made in America stamped on the bombs that are going to be dropped.
We're going to move on. Go ahead, Phil. Thanks, great.
Of course, they're looking at the politics. It's an election season. Everything's about the election. Everything's about politics. So, yeah, they're looking at it, which is why they're trying to find a fine line on this. You know, it's been something where it feels like they're kind of hedging. They're trying to straddle both sides, which, you know, maybe is the right, you know, balance. You can be your own judge on this issue, of course, but to say that they're not considering politics here, you know, they're considering politics. All right, so that's Kirby. He gets into it. Now, we've got some other reaction. We got some border stuff, and this is border stuff coming up, but this is another one from the right. This guy is on the House Armed Services Committee. He's talking about this as well. Let's see what he says. Ranking member, House Armed Services. He was over on CNN.
Be clear that it was an Iranian-backed militia. And as you said, these attacks have happened in a number of different places. And it's not like they were trying to avoid casualties. We were just able to defend and frankly got lucky to date, and one got through. But there's no question this was Iranian-backed militias. Now, the information we receive is Iran is not directly ordering the attacks, but they have given a general order to basically try to disrupt the Americans, and they've given them the space, as former Secretary Espert was saying, to make those attacks. So yeah, there's no question that Iran.
So like plausible deniability
Okay,
kind
so
of a
just
thing.
to be sure, because that's important, you have not seen intelligence that Iran directed this attack.
Correct.
Okay.
In fact, the general reporting we get, like I said, is that Iran's not directing these attacks, but they're arming the militias in question, and they're giving the passive go-ahead to do what they need to do without specificity.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's not a direct order, but Iran is still responsible for these attacks without question.
Even though they're distancing themselves, which I think everyone is kind of, in disbelief about. But I think the big question tonight for us is what's going to come next, because you've seen the president vowing to retaliate. And I wonder, from your perspective, what is an appropriate, proportionate response to an attack that does kill 30 service members and injure 40 more?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I thought about this. Remember the word decimate? And I believe that comes from the Roman time where they're going to decimate the land, right? Like if you're going to kill one Roman soldier, they're going to kill 10. Kind of that. I think that's the etymology of the word. Let's see if that's true or not. Yeah, here it is. Etymology. Decimate. The killing of 1 in 10. Okay, how about that? So here's from Online Etymology Dictionary. To select by lot and put to death every 10th man. Past participle of decimare, the removal or the destruction of 1/10. So decimate, the killing of 1 in 10. Chosen by lots from a rebellious city or a mutinous army, was a punishment sometimes used by the Romans. Oh, interesting. The word, so I thought it was like if they kill one of our guy, we kill 10 of theirs. But not really. It's kind of we kill 1 in 10 just generally. Okay, so think about that. That's like maybe even worse, right? So like, for example, if they killed 3 American troops, under my mistaken interpretation, it was like, okay, we'll kill 30. We'll kill 30 Iranians. It's like, no. We're going to take out 10% of Iranians. Like, I think that's what this is saying, or whatever the city is. Like, you go into a city, the killing of 1 in 10. So 10%, you're just gone. Sorry, of a rebellious city or a mutinous army was a punishment sometimes used by the Romans. The word has been used loosely and unetymologically, etymologically, unetymologically. All right, turn your neighbor. Unetymologically. Do you think we can get a pronunciation for that one? I don't think so. Let's see if this will give us a pronunciation. Okay.
Etymological.
Etymological, but just say unetymological. That's better. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Turn your neighbor. Unetymological. Okay. To the irritation of pedants. Since 1660s to destroy a large but an indefinite number of. To decimate. Interesting. Unetymologically. Unetymologically. All right. So this is an interesting word. And my question is, what is the appropriate stand? I think that might do it. Yeah, if you just went out and killed 10% of your opponent, just kill 10%. I don't know, civilians, everybody, women, children, you're just all dead. 10%. But of course, that would, that would be horrendous. But it'd probably solve the problem pretty quickly. I don't know if you'd have a lot of additional conflict if you had that level of brutality. But then you'd have to, deal with things like morality and ethics.
Well, I think you have to go more directly after the source, which is more directly after Iran. And again, Secretary Esper, I think, laid out the options. There are a variety of different targets that would impact Iran. Not all of them are in Iran. But I think you've got to put that on the table because the calculus right now is just not in our favor. Iran is allowing these attacks to happen with no consequences to themselves. And as long as that continues, the attacks will continue and our service members will be at risk. And that can't be tolerated. You've got to change Iran's calculus and have them bear some of the cost of what they are doing.
So for what's on the table, is it a strike on Iranian soil? Is it cyber, not kinetic activity, but in the cyber domain? I mean, what would you believe would be proportionate?
Now, all of the above is on the table. And look, I'm not going to, make the call here when the Department of Defense has a lot more details on this than I do. But, I think go into the source of these weapons. We're talking missiles and drones that are driving this. They're being made and exported from Iran. Go after that source and try to disrupt it. And similarly, these weapons are some of the same ones that Russia is using to terrorize the population of Ukraine. So I think that is one thing we should seriously look at. Where are these weapons coming?
It happens every time there's a female near or around bases or battlefields. They're going to get knocked up.
Coming from, can we disrupt that flow?
The 165 attacks since October 17th. I mean, every time there was an attack, we heard critics saying that the White House wasn't doing enough to deter this. They said that they were doing it. Just a few weeks ago, the president said that he had delivered the message to Iran and they know not to do anything. But is it clear to you that that deterrence did not work here?
Well, obviously it hasn't worked. The attacks have continued, but that presupposes that there was something the president could have done that automatically would have worked. And that I don't think is the case. Look, we don't want to launch a wider war within the Middle East. We don't want Hezbollah to launch, all of their rockets on Israel. We don't want Iran to full-scale, attack in Iraq our forces. So you're always striking that balance between deterrence and escalation.
Can I ask
and
you,
look,
Congressman,
sure.
but when do
That kind of sounds like a war, doesn't it? Like if they're attacking our people and we're responding by attacking their people, and they're killing our soldiers, and we're killing their soldiers. That sounds like a war, doesn't it? To me, I don't know.
I don't know if it's a wider war? Because I think some people, who aren't on the Armed Services Committee would look at this and say 165 attacks, 3 dead U.S. soldiers. They would ask if we're there yet.
Oh,
Well-
that's a great point, Caitlin. That's exactly what I was thinking. Thank you.
Well, 2 things about that. First of all, obviously it's a wider war, but a wider war can always become wider still. That's why I specified.
Oh, so he just
used
used the R word, the W word, didn't he? Let's just say it is a wider war.
We don't want Hezbollah coming down from Lebanon and opening a second front on Israel. That would be the huge opening of the conflict. And then if Iran started to more directly launch their own weapons from Iran on our targets, as opposed to going through proxies who don't have the same capability that Iran does. Iran could also do what they were doing, by the way, I like to point out, during the Trump administration, when President Trump likes to say he could wave a magic wand and make this all go away, when Iran was attacking Saudi Arabia and UAE and international ships in a variety of different places.
Yeah.
So yes, this war is wider, certainly, than it was in Gaza, but it can very easily get wider and vastly more dangerous than that. And that's what the president has to guard against.
All right. So some interesting tidbits there from Armed Services Committee. All right. Let's see what you guys say about this before we poke around and see what else is happening. It is a precarious position out there. And what do you guys say? Decimate. Unetymologically. But all right. So let's see. That's not a joke. I don't know why I did that. But all right, Zephod is here. Morning. What's up? Good morning, Zephod. Very nice to see you. We got Highlands in the house. Says info about the Carroll judge is coming out now. Mentored Carroll's first lawyer and co-officiated another lawyer's wedding. Know anything about this? Yeah, I do. We're going to read through the entire motion, the memo letter from Alina Abba. She sent that in yesterday. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, Highland Bull. So if you missed yesterday's show, we did talk about it yesterday. They did work together, and Roberta Kaplan's lawyers even confirmed that. So We covered it yesterday. We're going to cover it again today because Alina Abba submitted a full memo over into Judge Kaplan, and we'll take a look at that. What's up, Zulus here? We got Heavy G, Richard Tatership, Mari's here talking about gallows humor. Yeah, sometimes that's something that pops up. Red One says
Tatership.
Israel's expanding into Lebanon, so trouble's around the corner. Carino, we got Tiger Shark. We got RAS Mauri's here. Says, I laugh in the face of danger, quoting the very wise Simba from Lion King. Ah. What's up, Peter Roden? Good to see you. We got a comment from JC, the music man. He says, deaths of U.S. military always draws attention. Most of the information passed around about our overseas presence is based on speculation over a lack of understanding. Most of our military bases around the world are there at the request of the local governments. The bases provide the local people with security and stability and is a mechanism for providing humanitarian assistance. In 2016, my unit went to Jordan as part of a rotation in support of an overseas mission where our soldiers help build infrastructure, provide medical assistance, and help the local people. The big picture is that there are always ongoing operations around the world, and when things heat up, a lack of understanding is what makes everything seem so out of place. Not everything is tied to politics or campaigns. Our country still does good things around the world to ensure stability for the locals. The radicals who want destruction are always trying to destroy the relationship after we pull out. Peaceful people suffer for it. Yeah, there definitely is a lot of suffering as a result. And I agree with you, Jeremy, that our country does do a lot of good things. No doubt about it. I think that's a reaction to maybe this AOC's mind map says, why the bleep are we there? And why don't other countries have military bases in the U.S.? Why we are the world's biggest terrorists, says AOC's mind map. I don't know about terrorists. That's pretty strong. But there are some issues about, why does the U.S. have military bases all over the world, and exposing our troops to deadly attacks so that we get attacked and killed. And I understand, supply chains and global seas and trading and all of that stuff. And it's also, my response to that is, okay, well, if they're so concerned about the Red Sea and this different commercial shipping lanes, well, why don't those regions protect those shipping lanes? Like, why does America have to be the global shipping provider? You say, well, Rob, we benefit from those supply chains and we get all of our crap from China, all of our plastic garbage from Amazon. Well, maybe we don't need that anymore either. Maybe we should not have so much global trade, and we should build some of our own stuff here at home so that we don't have to rely on global shipping. And if we want, right, other nations can help protect the seas. We don't need to be the globe's police force. I mean, we could do it if we could afford it. And if our own country was on a nice, functional operating mechanism, but it's not. Okay, our country's in total disarray. So you got, in my opinion, you got to take care of your own house before you can go help someone else, right? Put your mask on before you can put someone else's mask on. That's the airplane analogy. All right, but anyways, JC, good to see you. Yes, we got some donos in the house, and we all know what day it is, don't we? Yes, we do. Oh, yes, we do. And Tanya's here, kicking the day off very appropriately. Yes, thank you, stable footing, 51K, that's a better word. It's Taco Tuesday! Woo, my friends. And Tanya's in the house.
One thing
blessing the beautiful Taco Tuesday. Can't move says happy Taco Tuesday. We got buffalo chicken wings. And those are good. Mott's stuffed meatballs, coleslaw, and blueberry pie with bacon on the side. Oh my goodness. Yep. Now that's a tough one to make a taco out of. Did you do that intentionally, Tanya? There's nothing really to fold that I can shove everything inside. Like maybe the bacon, we could, create the bacon or the blueberry pie, but that's not going to fold very well. So it's very difficult to make a taco out of that one. Yeah, you have to wrap it in bacon. I think that's the only solution. bacon, blueberry pie, coleslaw on top, meatballs, and that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. But it's possible. We'll have to figure it out. We'll have to do it. Thank you, Tanya. Very generous as always. Thanks for celebrating Taco Tuesday with us. Man, that's complicated. It's like a brain twister. I'm gonna have to mull on that one. Viva Maga is here. Says the drone had a rainbow flag on it, so they thought it was a friendly. Oh gosh. Crash says Blinken is an empty suit, void of any gravitas at all. Well, I think he went to Harvard though, so that's what counts. He went to Harvard. NY says an important point is Biden is not out front. He has Blinken being the executive. Yeah, he's still campaigning. Like he didn't even give a speech or anything about it. He's trying not to draw much attention to it because it's probably bad. They don't have a good policy. They don't have a good response. So you just kind of don't talk about it. Pass it off to the number 2 guy. Crash says if Biden was to look for those responsible for 3 casualties, he should look inwardly. He's responsible for his poor leadership. We've got Crash. Spud says the emperor has no pudding. Biden will further retreat to his basement, his ice cream parlor. He loves ice cream. He gets really excited about it. Something about Barnes? Something happened with Barnes? Robert Barnes? Is Robert Barnes okay? I hope Robert Barnes is okay. It's not good. You're making me nervous, NY. Sandy says a link to Roberta Kaplan's response. Thank you, Sandy. Yes, we've got that one queued up for sure. So for anybody else who wants to pull that up, you can read it. It's about a 4-pager. We'll go through it on the show when we get there in a few short hours. What's up? We got Brandon Rudder. What indicated to them that it was a friendly drone? That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. That is a good question. Yeah, NY. People are wondering, is something happened with Barnes? Is he okay? What's that about? We got Defrauded said, comments on yesterday's episode and the retired judge, People versus New York, made nearly $3 million. Attorney generals of New York did nothing to stop the China hustle. Please support. Says, I think the CCP is behind this overreach. They turn a blind eye to securities fraud with a link over there from Defrauded in China. Okay, Crazy Lady says Barnes was in the hospital, but he's now home and well. Okay. He was in the hospital last week when he was in Pennsylvania. Didn't say what was wrong, but he's okay. Okay, good. Okay. He was sick, so he couldn't make the Sunday show. Viva said he's fine, I think. Okay. Yeah, I thought I saw them do a stream, no? Didn't they have a stream yesterday? On Monday? Okay, good. Good. He's okay. Whew! That's good news. Okay, thanks for the heads up. NY, you can't scare us like that. Cartier says Biden gets excited about ice cream because there's always little kids there. Gross. Not good. Wow, yeah, we're glad he's okay. All right. Glad he's good. All right, now, let's see what else is percolating out there. So Congress is a bit busy today. There's a bunch of stuff happening. You can see they had some activities here. Small business, transportation, CCP, judiciary, financial services. Look at all this stuff. They're actually doing some stuff. And they did have a press briefing with Mike Johnson. Before we get there, though, a couple updates on the Biden administration. Still, Merrick Garland is getting back surgery. He's over at the Department of Justice, obviously. And so unlike Lloyd Austin, who just went and had his surgery, didn't tell anybody about it, he is going to be telling people about it. So he's going to briefly transfer authority. The number 2 official is going to be in charge for some time. Now, Garland is going to be out of commission over the weekend. The unusual early announcement by the top law enforcement officer is intended to avoid the storm of Lloyd Austin. It's minimally invasive back procedure for some pain, general anesthesia, 90 minutes. going to deal with his vertebrae. He's 71. And oh no, oh no.
Monaco.
Guess who's going to be in charge? Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco, who's probably actually in charge of most of the DOJ anyways. During the surgery, while he's recovering, he'll be back to work the following week. Now, White House put some new guidelines out directing cabinet officials, please notify us before you go under anesthesia. And so he's going to comply, unlike Lloyd Austin. So that's fun. Now, here is Karine, speaking of individuals who are in the Biden administration. She is responding to the Republicans, saying Republicans have to do something about the border.
As the president said over the weekend, we have been working in good faith and across the aisle to make real progress on one of the most important issues we are facing, securing our border. Now we need Speaker Johnson to step up and provide the authorities and resources we requested to secure the border. I want to point out one thing to all of you. Until recently, Speaker Johnson has also advocated for new resources and new legal authorities via legislation to secure the border. The Trump administration argued the same thing with the full-throated endorsement of then Congressman Mike Johnson. For his part, over the last 2 months, President Biden and his team have been working with a bipartisan group of senators to put together the toughest, and the fairest border security bill in history. This bipartisan agreement would deliver the resources the president asked for in his supplemental, like 1,300 new Border Patrol agents, 375 new immigration judges, 1,600 new asylum officers, 100 cutting-edge inspection machines to catch fentanyl. It would also provide a president with a new emergency authority to secure our border when it becomes overwhelmed.
Emergency authority.
And as you heard from the president, he would use that authority if the bipartisan agreement became law. Now, if
he's already got authority, in fact, he undid a bunch of his authorities. His predecessor did when Trump was in charge. On his first day, he just, with the stroke of a pen, waved a bunch of stuff, said, "Oh, come on in," and that's why they're here. So we've got reaction from, actually, here's this one from Nancy Pelosi. Now, speaking about people coming across the border, she told these Palestinian protesters who are upset about what's happening in Gaza to go back to China, which is a very racist statement, really, because I don't think they're from China, but here's what she says. Now, this would be all over the place if this was a Trump or a Republican or something like this. But this is Nancy Pelosi being very racist and bigoted. Here's what she sounds like.
Most of your constituents want
Get out of here.
Stop the genocide. Stop the Holocaust. The Democrats want the ceasefire. The Democrats want the ceasefire.
Go back to China where you came from. She's just shooing them off here like little pests. Get off my road. Get out of here. Nobody wants to hear from you peasants. Don't you know who I am? I'm Nancy Pelosi. Go 49ers. So pretty aggressive, pretty aggressive language there from Nancy. And I wonder if her constituents appreciate that, being told that they are from China. Now, speaking of war, there was this clip. I think we've got a content warning coming up. Content warning coming up. Now, you're not going to hear the full F-bomb being dropped here, but you'll hear a little bit of it because this was on MSNBC. Just to share with you what these propagandists really do is when a clip plays over them and when they think that they're not being recorded, they actually speak the truth. So here's this clip from Colin Rugg, MSNBC. Joy Reid caught on a hot mic saying Biden is just starting another effing war. He's starting another effing war. Right? So here, listen to this. If you got children's children's in the house, make sure they're properly apprised. All right. Here's what she says.
Over the weekend, President Biden said he's ready to take action if Congress is serious about solving the border issue.
If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly. And Congress needs to get it done.
Starting another fucking war. Over the weekend, President.
Oh, busted. Starting another effing war. Yeah. So then she'll come back out, right? She'll come back out after the break. And she'll just say whatever the administration wants her to say, right? She'll come back out and toe the line for MSNBC.
Yeah, I think
all
that's
right.
cultural
So that's what is
appropriation.
happening over there. Just, you know, propaganda.
wig.
And that's true. Yeah, she's right.
almost
Yeah,
looks
he's
like
going to
she's trying to
start
look like
another
Trump's
effing
hair.
war. Yeah, again, another one.
look at
Yeah,
it close.
another one. Joy. Maybe you should criticize him for that, so your audience is aware. But no.
Start wearing some orange makeup.
She just says it when the mic's off, allegedly. All right. Now, the Republicans were meeting today, and this is what Johnson came out and said, talking about the border. He had some questions come in, and here's what he says on the border.
Was not doing his job. In fact, he was undermining the very system that he was supposed to administer. Now the president, this is laughable. The president is trying to switch, flip the script. He wants to try to blame House Republicans in some way for the national security and humanitarian catastrophes that he caused. I can't make a full judgment on the national security supplemental, as the full details have not yet been released. But based on the news reports of this agreement that have been leaked, that Secretary Mayorkas, by the way, helped negotiate, it seems the new authority to shut down the border would kick in only after as many as 5,000 illegal crossings happen each day. Why? Why would we do that? Illegal immigration is illegal. It is against the law. Why would you tolerate 5,000 a day before you sought to suddenly enforce the law? That would be surrender. The goal should be 0 illegal crossings a day, not 5,000. And all the president's authority should be utilized at 0. Many of you may know about this letter that we received, an alarming letter dated January 17th by former executives of the FBI. And this has been circulating.
We read this here.
It's addressed to me and to
Keith was
Chuck
hilarious.
Schumer in the Senate and to our committees of jurisdiction, the chairs of
I get plenty of them on Twitter though, because his meltdowns are hilarious.
Intel, Homeland Security, and Foreign Affairs.
We read the full thing.
And
Video should
Homeland
be up.
Security and Government Affairs in the Senate. And it begins, dear Mr. Speaker and Chairman leaders, as former senior executives of the Federal Bureau of Investigation with deep experience combating dangers to the nation, we write to express our concern about a current specific threat that may be one of the most pernicious
Thought he was halfway
ever
decent
to
on
menace the
ESPN.
United States. This is a long letter, but I want to read you a couple of excerpts.
We read it.
As long as the nation on that course, I'd be happy to take a few questions. Yes, ma'am.
Given what you know about what Senate Republicans are negotiating regarding the border, is that a non-starter for Republicans in the House?
Well, we haven't seen any bill text yet. We've been waiting, I think, 2 months now on that. It's hard to make a judgment about something you haven't seen. All we know is the reports and rumors, I suppose, that have been leaked. I hope some of this is not true. But from what we've seen, clearly, what's been suggested is in this bill is not enough to secure the border. And we have to insist. We have a responsibility, a duty to the American people to insist that the border catastrophe is ended. And just trying to whitewash that or do something for political purposes that it appears that may be is not going to cut it. And that's a non-starter in the House.
Yeah, they'd love to take this issue off the table for 2024. If they could just pass an immigration bill, anything, then they'll just say, we're done with that issue. Okay, stop complaining. It's going to take some time for the policy to change. It's going to be the same garbage. Well, Americans haven't seen it yet because we just passed the bill. You have to pass the bill to know what's in it. We just passed it. Now you're going to find out what's in it. And it's going to take some time to hire these people, the border patrol agents and the judges and all the things. And it will take the issue off the table, and I think in a way that actually worsens the immigration problem by, as we've learned in the Senate bill, apparently it's creating an allowance of certain criminality into the country.
Money.
The former president has made it clear that he doesn't want you guys to go forward on this. Judging by his comments, he clearly wants to campaign on this issue. Have you spoken to him about the Senate proposal, and are you simply trying to kill this to help him out in the campaign?
No, Manu, that's absurd. We have a responsibility here to do our duty. Our duty is to do right by the American people, to protect the people. The first and most important job of the federal government is to protect its citizens. We're not doing that under President Biden.
Oh, that would be
We have
awesome.
only a tiny, as you know, razor thin, actually a 1-vote majority right now in the House. Our majority is small. We only have it in one chamber, but we're trying to use every ounce of leverage that we have to make sure that this issue is addressed. I have talked to former President Trump about this issue at length, and he understands that. He understands that we have a responsibility to do here. The president, of course, President Trump, wants to secure the country. President Trump is the one that talked about border security before anyone else did. He ran on, as you remember, building the wall. Why? Because he saw this catastrophe coming. He knew that if we did not get control of it, we would be in this situation. And that's why President Trump took executive actions. He used his executive authority to get that system under control. President Biden came in reflexively and did exactly the opposite. And that is what has caused this crisis. It is well documented. I'm happy to share with you all, if you haven't seen it yet, our documentation of the 64 actions they've taken. At least half of those, more than half, could be immediately reversed with a stroke of a pen. And Joe Biden refuses to do it. And it is outrageous to us. Yes, ma'am. Second round.
All right. So also this morning, this is taking place. House impeachment resolution is underway against Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas.
Oh,
let's see what this is.
How big is it?
Looking like this is live.
Unanimous consent? I ask unanimous consent to include in the record a news article from December 6, 2023 on why my colleague, Representative Mike Ezell, voted to keep known liar and former Representative George Santos in Congress because, quote, my personal feelings about him do not meet the standards our founding fathers established for expulsion, end quote.
I would object to unanimous consent. I don't think that's relevant in this hearing.
You just brought up Mr. Santos's. Hold on, we're not discussing it.
Lies.
A motion's been made for unanimous consent. There's an objection.
So ask for a roll.
You ought to get used to opening the door.
I quoted a headline, sir. I did not open the door to vote.
No one's recognized right now but the chair. Nobody's recognized but the chair. All right. So it is not entered with the objection. So I now for a recorded vote. So is the gentleman making a motion? I had a unanimous consent motion. Right, that was objected to. So objected now to. I move for the inclusion of this article and showing that Republican members of this committee apply constitutional standards very selectively. Oh, no.
Dan Goldman is such a pain in the butt.
So all those in favor of admitting to the record the article presented by Mr. Goldman of New York and say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it, and the article is not admitted. Mr. Chairman, I ask for a recorded vote. Recorded vote has been requested. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. McCall. No. Mr. McCall votes no. Mr. Higgins.
So just delaying the whole thing, right? What a pain in the butt.
Mr. Guest. No.
Obviously, the Republicans have the majority there. So he's just making them go through the motions, probably just to delay all this stuff. So, right, that guy basically bought his congressional seat when he was running in a primary against a bunch of other Democrats. He's an heir to the Levi Strauss money, hundreds of millions of dollars, and used it to get elected.
No. Mr.
I downloaded it.
Mr. D'Esposito votes
Wait a
no.
minute.
Miss Lee. Miss Lee votes no.
All right, so
Mr. Luttrell. Mr. Luttrell? No. Mr. Luttrell
all right.
votes no. Apologies.
So we'll see if they actually get to anything.
No.
Yeah, Lucy Lou Lane says Goldbar Menendez is still in Congress. That's for sure. It's like watching student government hold a mock hearing. I know, it's kind of just like, could you imagine being a congressperson? Like, you just sit around all day. This is what you do.
Miss Jackson Lee.
Aye.
Hey, you can't
Miss
fool
Jackson
Pops.
Lee votes
Welcome.
aye. Mr. Payne.
Even know what you guys are
Payne
doing.
Votes aye. Mr. Swalwell. Mr. Correa.
Hey, where's Stinky Eric?
Mr. Correa votes aye. Mr. Carter.
And I
Mr. Carter votes
I'm not
aye.
a huge Trump
Mr.
defender,
Tanadar.
but that's not quite true there, P. Morgan. I mean, he may have had the numbers, but most of those R's are in the House and in the Senate are rhinos, and they're never Trumpers, so they will never back anything that he wanted to do. Yes, I do agree that a lot of them got richer, though.
Mr. Tanadar votes aye. Mr. Magaziner.
Aye.
Mr. Magaziner votes aye.
You happy
Mr.
with yourself, Dan?
Aye.
Mr. Ivy.
All right, so we'll leave that there, and they can just continue to enjoy themselves on that one. Let's see who is here, my friends, as we wrap it up on the day.
All right.
We got
Defrauded
JC's here. Says much of the shocking and the pulse-raising news always comes from the same media outlets that push well-known falsities. When supposed news breaks, we need to remember the lack of credibility in those situations.
All right.
Yes,
Are you
Bob,
ready,
award.
Clay?
Chaos gains more clicks, but in the meantime,
Yeah, go ahead. You start, and I'll.
All right, I will. I'll start. So, because it pretty much starts after I say, yo, VIP, let's kick it. Here we go. Yo, VIP, let's kick it. I, baby. I, baby. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. I come back with a brand new invention, something. Rather hold you tightly, flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Look, I don't know. Turn off lights and I'll go. Keep it in my rock like a candle, like a stage, like a jump like a candle, dance. Let's burn, let's move, killing our brains and poisonous mushrooms deadly. Those melodies, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it. Only you better gain weight, you better hit bullseye, kids don't play. This is the problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook on the DJ Golf. Ice, baby. Ice, baby. Ice, baby. Ice, baby. Now the party is jumping. Keep the bass kicking and the biggest out pumping. Quick to the point, no thinking. Cooking and foods like a pound of bacon. Burning like quick and nimble. Go crazy when I hear a cymbal and a hi-hat. With a souped up tempo. I'm on a roll. It's time to go solo. 5.0 with the rack top down so my head can't blow. Girl is on standby waiting to say hi. Did you stop? No, I just drove by. Keep on pursuing on the next stop. I bust a left. I'm heading to the next spot. Fox was dead, so I couldn't. A1A, Beachfront Avenue. Girls were hot wearing less than bikinis. Rocking lovers, loving bikinis. Jealous, cause I'm out getting mine. Shade with the kitty to the middle of the night. Ready for the trumps on the wall. The trumps back here because the about to 8 ball. Brings out like a bell. I grab a 9 and I heard all shells falling on the concrete roof that junction car slapped on the gas bumper to bumper. The avenue's packed. I try to get away with the jacks like that. Police on the scene, you know what I see? They pack me up. Confronted all the dope. This is the problem. Yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook on the DJ revolves it. Ice, baby. Ice, baby. Ice, baby.
I give that a 2 out of 10.
Fucking bow. 2 out of 10. He didn't say a word. He didn't even try. What else? Do I have anything else left? Oh, the dungeon. Yeah. We're going to play the dungeon video, and then I'm going to do my outro, guys.
We did all 4 states. Alleged states. Backstar Springs was kind of a lame one. That I will admit. This one's kind of a lame one as well. I didn't think Bentonville was going to get that crazy right off the bat. And then Joplin was kind of, that was funny. That was fun. Joplin was fun. Hey there, partner. I can't wait to go back and watch that. They probably, they don't look good on tape at all in that video, I don't think. just kicking someone off of public property just because they feel like it. Yeah, they did. Joplin definitely did not look good on camera. On tape. On the 720. They didn't look too good. Charlene says, yay. Yay, guys. Yay. Yay, guys! Oh crap! This lady's running through here. Oh crap! What's going on? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on, man? Good, good, good. Huh? What was I doing in the lobby? I was recording. Does it matter? Okay, am I being detained? Can I leave? Why can't if I can't leave, I'm being detained.
Yeah.
So what crime have I committed?
Our dispatchers wanted us to check you out.
That's not a crime. The dispatcher wanting you to do something is not a crime. Am I being suspicious, or am I being suspicious, or have I committed a crime?
You're being suspicious. Is what's going on.
What's so suspicious about me?
Going into our lobby, asking if this is where we kept drugs. Went down to the dungeon area.
I didn't go down into the dungeon area.
Okay.
I don't know what the dungeon area is. I don't know what crime you suspected me of, but can you get your manager here? Is that him? Okay, cool.
What's going on today, man?
Oh, not much. Hey, how's it going? Are you the manager in charge? Cool. I'm Bao. This young man is saying that I've committed some kind of crime. I don't. Oh, okay. Am I being detained?
We're asking you some questions, so technically, yes.
Okay. I'm not going to answer any questions. You guys are more than welcome to speak to my lawyer. I can have him on the
Do you
phone.
have your ID with you, sir?
I don't have my ID on me. Do you need my ID for some reason?
Yes, we do.
What do you need my ID
Because you
for?
were acting suspiciously in our police department lobby,
What did I do that was suspicious?
asking questions about the drug box.
Was that not the drug box?
It is a drug box.
Okay, so why would asking a question about a box that's in your lobby
Activity
suspicious?
In our lobby was suspicious. We just need your ID. We're going to make sure you don't have any warrants, and if you don't, you'll be on your way. We'll be on our way.
First of all, if I committed a crime, I'd be more than glad to help you out however you want. But I haven't committed a crime yet.
You need to identify yourself when we request you to.
Okay, so I'm not, just so you know, I'm not from this area, so I don't know what the local laws are as far as to stop an ID state.
You should familiarize yourself with them before you argue with the police.
I'm not arguing. I was actually walking that way, and you guys came up on me. I'm gonna give you my name. Okay, I'm gonna cooperate with you. I'm not gonna do anything that you're gonna deem as not cooperating. So it's Mr. Weaver, right?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver, I'm gonna cooperate with you, but I'm just gonna ask a few questions. You guys are asking me questions, and I want to ask you guys questions first, just to clarify what's going on here. You're not suspecting me of any kind of a crime, right?
Not for sure, no.
Not for sure. So you don't have.
Okay. Bottom line.
Hold on. Well,
let me talk.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you talk, and then I'll talk.
You were in our police department lobby.
Sure.
Okay. You have this contraption.
And what is this contraption? If you can describe it to me, it's a mount. I can tell you this. This is a cell phone.
There should be some kind of video.
This is a mount. This is a cell phone. This is a mount that a cell phone goes on.
Can I finish talking?
I'm gonna just let you know what this is first before you start making claims of what I have on me and what I don't. This goes to a battery pack. Okay. I don't have any weapons on me. There's nothing. I don't have any bad intentions. I'm gonna let you guys know up front. So as far as the rest of it, if you guys are not suspecting me of a crime, and you guys are detaining me, there might be some issues here, and you might want to call the DA and get this sorted out.
Call anyone.
Well, gosh, I would recommend it. Go ahead, Mr. Weaver.
Okay, you were in our lobby with your contraption, recording device, whatever this may be. It made our dispatchers nervous. You're calling in asking about the container, which narcotics are disposed of.
Okay, is that a crime?
That made our dispatchers nervous.
Well, is that a crime?
Let me finish talking.
Man, I'll let you finish. I'm just asking you.
No, you're not. You keep interrupting me.
Well, man, I would like to leave, to be honest, and not interrupt you at all.
As soon as we find out who you are and make sure you're not wanted anywhere, you can leave.
Well, what does that have to do with anything?
We've been requested to check on you.
Right.
Which is a call for service.
Well,
when we do that and we request your identification, you are required to provide us your identification.
All right, so
does that make sense?
I hear what you're saying.
Does that make sense?
But I just want to
give us your name.
My name is Bao.
Full name. How you spell?
My name is Bao. It's spelled B as in boy, A as in apple, and O as in Oscar.
Okay, full name.
My last name is Wynn.
W-I-N?
Yeah, and what's your name is Arnold, right?
Yep.
And what's
Arnold, 517.
Got it. And I got Mr. Weaver at 995, right? Who's your boss, Mr. Weaver? Is there some brass in the area that's a little bit more well taught on as far as the stop and ID rules in this area?
More well taught.
Well, I mean, gosh, you're not suspecting me of a crime.
You want my chief?
I would like that. You're not suspecting me of a crime, but you're stopping me and asking me for ID. So is the body cam on? I'm gonna just back up to where I can have both of you guys kind of in the scene, just so nothing bad happens. I mean, you guys are armed. I'm not. And what's the chief's name here in Miami?
Thomas Anderson.
Thomas Anderson. And this is Miami PD in Oklahoma, right?
Yes, it is.
And like, I'll just wait for the chief. I'll just wait.
Your date of birth, please?
Man, I'm gonna remain silent.
You're making this more difficult.
I'm not, guys. I would like to leave. So I mean,
I tried explaining to
well, I haven't committed a crime, and
we're on a call for service.
I'm gonna wait for
to
you, chief.
investigate.
I'm gonna be quiet and wait for the chief.
That's fine.
Miami. Yeah, they wish they could still do it, Martin. No, they do still do it. Sometimes they still get away with it.
Where you from, man?
That's awesome.
Hello. Are you the police chief?
Yeah.
All right. So I was walking to where I was going, and this young man stopped me and detained me. Shortly after that, Sergeant Weaver, I believe, came and detained me, and he raised his voice at me. I have it all recorded. He was, they're trying to ID me. I haven't done anything. They've made it clear that I haven't done anything. This young man is confused on if I'm detained or not. So, do you know if I'm being detained right now? All right. Thanks. You too.
Have a good day.
You too, man. Appreciate you.
Well, you got them both spanked there. Oh yeah, he was a guidon holder. These guys can run their butts off. Our guidon holder used to run around the whole formation.
Yeah, I was gonna entertain him a little bit, but that guy right there, the sergeant that showed up, kind of raised his voice at me like, "You understand? You understand? Do you understand?" And I was like, "Bro, you might want to get the chief out here, maybe get the DA on the phone before any of this bullshit goes down. Get that bullshit out of here." Huh? I was walking to my car, and they stopped me, and they was like, "Hey, you're being suspicious." And I was like, "What? What's so suspicious about me?" And he goes, "Well, your apparatus." And I was like, "My apparatus is suspicious?" And I was like, "Well, which part of it's suspicious?" and he was like, I don't know. He started making all kind of claims, and I was doing this, that, and the other. And I was like, "Man, I don't want any trouble. I just want to go, go about be my ways. Am I being detained?" And he was like, "No." But then he was like, "Yes." So he didn't know if I was being detained or not. So I was like, "Man, can you get your sergeant here?" So his sergeant showed up, and his sergeant was like, "Well, it got even worse. Like he tried to escalate the situation."
What do you mean call
And
what?
I was like, "Man, you might want to get on the phone with the chief or the DA and get somebody to de-escalate this." And luckily, the chief came out and de-escalated it.
So just because you had that,
I mean, that's a thing to hold your phone to record things.
Yeah, it's a stabilizer.
Is it on YouTube?
I am on YouTube. I'm doing a long feed. You guys can check out my channel. You guys can watch the whole incident later if you want. Yeah. Well, yeah.
What's it for?
I just that's what I do. I'll go to public buildings and I'll record. And then if someone just stops me for no reason and tries to ID me, I let them know that it's not going to go down that way. I mean, very nicely, of course.
Guidon holder? Guidon, the guy who held the flag in front of when you guys ran
that's
in
all they do.
formation.
They bully people.
He's the guy who ran the flag. We used to have to run around the whole formation. Every once in a while, whoever was leading the
Yeah, if you want to watch the whole incident, you can watch it on
just
Clash with
send the
Bow.
guy down holder around real
Clash.
quick. So the other units would see
Clash
it.
with Bow, BAO. Yeah.
I told you. Rebecca, you should have done so with there.
You made me look great.
I'm from
Thanks.
Miami.
All right, peace out. Thanks for asking on me. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it was from Alive. God, it had to be at least four or 5 years ago. Well, I mean the squad leader or whatever it is, if it's a squad.
Yeah.
Platoon leader if it's a platoon. You mean?
New lurkers. New lurkers. Yeah, just when we thought we were out safe, that kid pulled up on me fast. Do you guys see how fast that kid pulled up on me and got out of the car? He's like, "Hey man, gotta talk to you. Gotta talk to you, man. Hey man, gotta talk to you. Hey man, gotta talk to you."
I remember when he did this. He hit like 4 corner states real quick.
Sergeant's daughters. Nice way to end the stream. Is it? I didn't think it was too nice. I think a nice way to end would have been to just walk to my car, get the hell out of Oklahoma. You gonna let me talk? Go ahead, Weaver. What do you have that's so important to say? You gonna make more claims? The lobby worker said there was no drugs there anyways, remember? Cops are scared but residents happy with Bao. Well, they just pulled up on me like that. I was like, man, I didn't know what was going to happen. I was like, man, are they going to smash my head in here? Because when people pull up on you like that with a gun, it's never usually good. And the only thing that was keeping me safe was kind of you guys. You know, kind of watching it. But did you see how that guy pulled up on me? They got pulled up on me, hit the e-brakes. Came out of the car like, hey, man, I got to talk to you. Got to talk to you, man. Like, what, bro? You want to do what? You want to talk to me? I'm being suspicious? What part of it is suspicious? Well, you're in the law.
All right, guys. Hey, No Mercy Sheep. Perfect timing. Yeah, young Bao. All right. I'm going to play my outro. Got to get going. You guys have a great day. No Mercy, buddy. Welcome. See how well it plays through the studio here.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me. Cause she got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase, got some egos to the face. Baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on that tight frame. All game, no shame, baby came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine. Got a fine little body and her mind's kinda naughty. They say that once you taste it, you cannot replace it. She could get you high, all the dopamine inside triggers fast once she's naked. Her body's a creation. They say the devil made her for his entertainment, but even he couldn't learn how to contain it. Her high heels make a damn good statement. There is no replacement, a body by Satan. Cause she got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase, got some egos to the face. Baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the